on my doorstep.
Major League Baseball, you stink.
It's Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
Yeah, but we got a different Bay Area boy. We decided to find one younger. His name is Larry Krueger. How often have you ever been introduced that way? Let's get younger, and let's get Larry in here.
There you go.
See? You know, it's fleeting in life these days, I would bet, where people are calling you young, right?
It's
but here we are.
Yeah, it's all relative, right?
It always is.
I'm younger than somebody.
Yes, you are. And it is all relative, too, as we listen to the guys talk yesterday. Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo, a couple of days to get through everything that had taken place that got us all going. And so then they were ready to come out and say what they said. What'd you think?
I thought Trey says the right things. He knows exactly what to say, and we get along great. I'm glad Jimmy's here. I thought it was really interesting, kind of listening to Trey. Just we talk virtually every day. The guys in the building. I thought the interesting thing that came from Trey was that he was saying, "Was it a shock to you?" And it wasn't a shock. He's been talking to Jimmy. These guys have had dialogue around the facility. So, I think for a lot of people it was a shock to us, but it doesn't necessarily mean it was a shock to him.
Yeah, so. I wonder. Shock is probably the wrong word. Like, he answered it correctly. He's like, well, he's been standing right over there all camp. Like, I can see him. He's right over there on the sideline. So is it shocking to have Jimmy? No. Is it eyebrow raising? Is it surprising? Here's a question. And we'll let you all hear the answer from Trey Lance. Did he have any trepidation, any hesitation with regard to having Jimmy back on the team?
Did you have any trepidation at all when they first mentioned it to you?
Could you define trepidation?
Nervousness, anxiety?
No, not at all. I was super excited. Like I said, man, he's done it. And for him, I'm going to use him as a huge resource for me throughout this whole entire year. And I know, man, he's always been willing to help me out. So I'm super excited for it.
All right, let's go ahead and define that for you. It's a trepidation sensation, okay, is how we would do it on this show. I love that. Trey Lance, at 22 years old, everything he does comes across as if he's just been here for years. But no shame in being like, I'm sorry, I don't know what that word means. Could you tell me what that word means, please?
Exactly. Could you define trepidation?
Trepidation.
But the nothing's changed. He kept saying that. I don't think the relationship changes. And you got the same theme from Jimmy. That hey, we get along. So I think they're going to be fine. It's going to be on our end. It's going to be every time. And it's not just over here. It's going to be everywhere, in print, radio, television, locally, nationally.
Just the fans. Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be the talking point. You're going to hear it in the stadium after 2 series, and you go 3 and out 2 times in a row. Suddenly it's, get him in there, get that guy in there. So it's going to, it adds a whole layer of whatever to this, but I don't, they seem to maintain that their relationship is not going to change.
Yeah, again, for me, it's never been about their relationship. I mean, they're football players and they're friends. So I don't think either. The way it is in that fraternity, they all get it. Like somebody leaves the 49ers for a big contract, right? Tomlinson goes to the Jets. It's like, okay, you're not going to be on a good team this year, but you got that bag. You know what those guys think. Nobody's like, oh, man, how could you leave us? All of them are like, got it, brother. Like, good luck. Congrats. You deserve this. You earned it. They're friends. This is a fraternity. Nobody didn't want Jimmy around for that reason. It's for the professional definition that comes with it, where there would be trepidation if you were Trey Lance. So it's not about their relationship. For me, it's never been about can they mentally handle it. They both look like super strong mental people. Obviously. I mean, Jimmy has handled everything with a smile over the last year and a half. This was the most interesting moment for me, and it probably didn't sound like it. But to me, this is actually the subject. Trey Lance said this in the press conference yesterday.
For me, I'm worried about what the guys in the locker room think, what I think, what the coaches think, what the guys in this organization think. Outside of that, I know, there's Jimmy, there's Trey, there's all that, but this is going to be a collaborative group, and I know Jimmy's going to have my back through it all.
There's the sentence. I care what the guys in the locker room think. It's been my point all along. Because, Trey, if you struggle, what do you think the locker room's going to think? Those veterans are going to want a change. That, to me, is what we're talking about as a possibility. And not even really a possibility, because who knows how this whole thing is going to play out. But it's a dynamic that would not have been there if Jimmy wasn't there. I don't think, and as much as you, Larry, I mean, the Brock Purdy man crush is really going to develop this year. I can feel it. But with that dynamic, let's say he was the backup quarterback, Brock Purdy. I don't think there's something. Trey would have to be such a disaster for the veterans to be like, Coach, you got to go to Brock, because he's a rookie too, and he's a 7th-round draft pick. But if Trey is really struggling, how does Juszczyk not go to Kyle Shanahan and go, you got to think about going to Jimmy?
Well,
That's the change to me.
Yeah, I mean, the job is still the same. You got to play well,
yes,
or you're going to lose your job, and that's kind of the way it is. So, is it a little bit more? Is the heat dialed up on Trey a little bit because you got Jimmy sitting right there? That's part of it. But also it's a Super Bowl roster. I think that's a bigger part of it. If the 49ers were headed towards a 2-win season, then I don't think it really matters who's sitting there. But the fact of the matter is they want to win, and they want to win a championship. So, there's always going to be pressure there. But I don't think that the veterans are going to necessarily, because they lose a game, going to be like, get Jimmy in there.
Not a game.
It's going to have to be Trey's screwing up. Trey's causing the team to lose.
Right.
And if that's the case, then there will be a hue and cry. And it might be a quiet hue and cry, but it'll become internally.
I thought
for a new guy.
I thought we would play this one as well, just because Trey talked about Brock Purdy. And as I'm listening to Trey talk about Brock Purdy, I'm like, Larry is having a moment right now. I mean, this has got to be just an emotional feel as these two guys, both names coming up in one sentence. There's Trey Lance on Brock Purdy, which could only be described as a Larry Krueger dream.
Brock's done a great job, man. He's been awesome. I was super excited for him. Everyone congratulated him that he made the roster, man. I was super excited for him, and he deserved it. He earned it this whole preseason, the whole training camp, even going back to OTAs, man, the way he handles himself. He's actually older than me, so that bugs me a little bit. But it's been great having him in the room. The way he's picked up the offense so fast, footwork, everything is still improving, and he's doing a great job. Great guy to be around.
Okay, Kyle, can you jump on for a second? Because you counted these. I was actually wondering about that. So do we have a super excited counter for the Trey Lance press conference? It was about 6 minutes long. How many super exciteds did we get?
We got super excited 6 times.
6?
He was also super glad and felt like practice was super normal.
Okay, which is super fun.
Super Bowl next?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That's a super good account of the whole thing by you.
Yeah, like we're playing match game. Like super blank. Fill in the blank.
Smash cut to Fanny Flagg looking over to see if she can get an answer from Richard Dawson.
We threw a couple of different game shows in there at once, but that's okay. Yeah, I'd like him to fill in super with bowl instead of excited. Why are you looking at me like that?
You don't think he's excited?
Richard Dawson was Family Feud. Kyle, I know you're young. I know
he was
young.
also a frequent guest on Match Game,
Maybe
and if you were going to come down my road on this,
host.
Yeah, I know he was, and Fanny Flagg was also a guest, and she would look over.
Fanny Flagg, it makes me uncomfortable when you say that. I feel like the dump button is needed. It's just it's too close to too many different things. So I'd like you to just calm down for a second.
Okay, how dare you?
Well, no, listen.
Question my Match Game knowledge.
My man, I question all of your knowledge. Do you know how many times somebody in their 40s has made a reference about something that happened a long time ago, and you and Spadone look at us like you don't even know what we're talking about? Like, how many times do we have to say Top Gun, and you're like, yep, never saw it? Like,
now this is just disparaging.
Now
I'm out.
A man who hasn't seen Shawshank Redemption, and he's asking for my confidence that he's going to get the references. I mean, come on, man.
Different age, different time.
Seriously.
Though I thought the first Top Gun was crap. I saw it I watched it a few weeks ago. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this was a hit.
Out loud.
I really didn't like it. It was so slow.
You're really going to take the show here?
I just didn't like the first Top Gun. It was really sleepy.
Wait, so did you just see it for the first time last week?
No, but I mean, I remember. I saw it whatever year it came out, and then I saw it again, and it's like, man,
it doesn't hold up
the love story and it's just so slow.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Okay.
You know what?
The volleyball and.
just such a, speaking of volleyball, that's what it feels like hosting with you this week. It's like, you have my respect, you don't have my respect. Like, how could you say what you just said?
I just didn't.
All the goodwill that we've built up this week, and then you ruin it all in one sentence.
You really love Top Gun.
When I was 12 years old, it was literally my favorite movie.
It's funny because I didn't remember
5 times.
It's like it almost felt like a chick flick watching it again.
What's so wrong with a chick flick?
I don't know. I guess maybe I'm not a chick. So if I was, then I'd like a chick flick.
But who do you want to come over and watch with you, Larry? Hello?
Once again, Top Gun.
See if you can catch up, man. I'm just saying.
Didn't do it for me.
It's a bad take. All right. How about from Jimmy? Jimmy talking about whether or not this weird situation matches last year's weird situation.
It was weird. It was different than any situation I've ever been in. I've been in some weird ones too, so that's saying something. But no, it was. I think things worked out for the best. There was a lot of ups and downs, rocky roads here and there, but I think throughout the whole thing, I'm happy with where I'm at, happy to be with the Niners. I think the Niners are happy to have me back, and I think things are working out pretty well. All
right, so, I mean, look, if I had to pick a football player to handle a quote-unquote situation, I mean, is Jimmy got the 1 seed or what?
He knows what to say. I mean, he knows how to deflate everything and how to, I thought there was one moment of honesty in the whole thing, though, where he said he kind of acknowledged that it was familiarity that really led him back ultimately. But then he also said, you got to be smart in this business, and you always got to have an eye on your future, at least one eye, and you got to be smart about things. And I thought that ultimately he made the best call for himself and his future, and staying here was the best call.
I think this is the comment you're referencing.
A lot of things, actually. I think just the opportunity to be with the same team that I'm familiar with, offense I'm familiar with, coaches, players, all that stuff really played a big role in it. Seeing the other opportunities that were out there and just, you weigh in the pros and cons of everything. Trust me, there was a lot of back and forth going on just with other teams and what I wanted my future to look like. And so this is what I wanted. I'm happy the way it worked out. And it's just the familiarity, I think, was a big part of it.
I agree with you that that's one of the most honest things we heard yesterday. And I think it's something that we haven't highlighted yet this week. And I'd like everybody to realize this, because there's been so much talk about, wow, this makes the 49ers so much deeper this year. And this makes them bulletproof if something happens at the quarterback position. True. Y'all understand that Jimmy did not make this decision about this year's 49ers squad. Jimmy did not do this because he's like, man, I really think we can win a Super Bowl. I think we can win the Super Bowl this year. Let's go, team. No, Jimmy's talking about next year. That's why Jimmy did this, because what is Jimmy's best chance to get a huge bag and a starting job next year with a team that's good? Well, A, you need to be an unrestricted free agent. B, you need to not be franchise tagged. And C, you need to have good things on tape. Where are you going to put good things on tape? Or you need to have nothing on tape.
You're leaving at the biggest one, which is D, you have to be healthy.
Right. Well, of course.
So that's why you don't want to go to bad teams, because on a bad team, you're
bad offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, you go to Seattle, you're going to start more games than you're going to start here. But your odds of showing up in March healthy, ready and willing and able to sign a $20 million plus per year contract, your best odds of winding up in March healthy are staying right here and playing fewer games, playing behind Trent Williams.
Not the only time that he talked about his future. Here's this.
As much as you're in it for the wins and everything like that, you got to look into the future a little bit, contract situations and all that. And I think everybody does that to a certain degree. And you have to be smart in that sense of it. But at the end of the day, I'm a 49er right now, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah, so it's like, we also have to think about that. No, you only have to think about that. I hold none of that against Jimmy. This whole 18-month experience where the 49ers, who still have this guy, and essentially told him was it February or March of 2021, my man, we're done with you. And he's still here, and he's still handling it, and he's put good things on tape and went to an NFC title game in the midst of all of that. And now here we go again. I'm here to say I hold nothing against him if he had literally turned the entire press conference yesterday into, look, I want to start somewhere in 2023, and this is my best chance to do it. Like, he absolutely has that latitude with me if he wants. He deserves it.
He also had one other honest moment at the beginning where he said, everything happens for a reason. But before he said that, he said, this isn't what I wanted. He acknowledged publicly right up front. Sure. He's like, this. I'm happy with the way it worked out. This isn't what I wanted to have happen, but things happen for a reason. So he's kind of come to grips with it that even though that wasn't the plan for Don Yee, it wasn't the plan for him, it wasn't the plan for the Niners. But I think all sides are happy that the Niners are happy they have insurance, and Jimmy's happy that he's here as opposed to starting on a bad team and maybe not going to be able to secure the bag because of injury.
Cam Inman in the building for all of this yesterday, and he will join us, our 49er Insider, in 10 minutes to go through that and more. Trey Sermon, they wanted to put him on the practice squad. He ends up with the Eagles. Jordan Mason, what does that mean for him? Like, I still don't know. I know we all think Jeff Wilson is RB2. Do we know this? Do we know this for sure?
Could be Ty Davis-Price.
Could be Jordan Mason.
Yeah.
I mean, we know Eli Mitchell's the starter. So all kinds of questions for Cam. We'll do that in 10 minutes. James in Palo Alto, you're on with Willard and Larry here on 95.7 The Game. Hello, what are you doing? Welcome, James.
Hi, guys. Thanks. I just got done working in the field, so I'm in the orchard. So I'm looking to have a nice conversation.
Perfect, man. What do you got?
I was just tending to the tomatoes and the strawberries.
Nice.
The thing that I'm a little concerned about is how quickly people want to judge any person without realizing it's a team sport. Let's say the 49ers score 38 points against Chicago. Trey throws 4 touchdown passes. Mitchell runs one in. Robbie Gould hits a field goal, and they lose 42-38. Would anyone want to replace Bosa or the linebacking crew or anything? Of course not. And what happens if they lose 21-17 and Robbie Gould misses 4 field goal attempts? Would we all be clamoring to replace him? I don't think so.
I actually think so.
Not situation.
And
Bosa, we were with you. Robbie Gould, not so much.
And that actually, I think, does a great job of sort of responding to your point, James, which is that there's context at every position in sports. Nick Bosa wouldn't be replaced, A, because he has already built a tremendous reputation and cachet in this league, and 49ers don't have a replacement for him. I mean, yes, they've got other defensive linemen, but they don't have anybody where you're like, we probably should check out that guy. A kicker, by definition, no matter what kind of cachet they've built, is replaceable almost on a weekly basis, especially if it's that bad. And then to transfer that conversation to Trey Lance, come on, next weekend is his 3rd start. It's his 3rd start. He hasn't built a reputation in this league as somebody who can go through an awful game and not be questioned. I don't think there's any scenario where he gets benched after week 1. There's no scenario. That's way too fast. However, you and I talked about this yesterday, Monday morning, September 12th, if he doesn't look good and they lose, it's loud already. It's loud. People will be freaking out because it's the Bears. You're supposed to crush this team. You're a touchdown favorite on the road.
But Shanahan's going to be extra sensitive to trying to keep control on the thing. So I would say Trey's going to get the first month before even Kyle even considers any kind of change. And I think ultimately it's going to come down to injury. I don't think it's going to be Trey's out because he didn't look good. I think Trey's going to be in there until he's hurt. That's my guess.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to get pulled for performance unless the performance is truly heinous and we're like 4 to 6 weeks into the year.
Yeah. First month, I'm totally with you. And 650, I got to answer this because there's just too many of these, and I know because we've been doing radio for years, Larry, and I know the way things get translated. Willard, just stop, please. Enjoy watching Trey play and grow. Man, I don't know any other way to say this. I've said it from the moment last season ended. I am here for Trey Lance. I love that the 49ers drafted Trey Lance. I am a Trey Lance fan. I am a Trey Lance believer. I am all of these things. Not one time this week have I stated a negative opinion about Trey Lance. What I've stated this week is that I believe this move means the 49ers wish he was a little further along in their eye than he is. It means nothing about what we're going to see next week. I can't wait to watch this go. I hope he starts all 17 games. Have I made myself clear?
There's some degree of this, Mark, that comes across like lottery winners bitching about taxes. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like, oh, yeah, I won the lottery, but now I got to pay all these taxes. You just got a starting quarterback to be your backup quarterback and to take about a $17 million pay cut to be that backup quarterback. And most Niner fans look at that situation and say, wait a second, we still have Trey. Now we have Jimmy backing up. This is all great. The thing that's gotten read into it is this is a statement by the Niners of they're hedging and they're worried. Where there could be some of that,
which has
but
nothing to do with me
it also
or
could
any fan.
But that also could be totally misread. They may not hedge at all on Trey. They may just prefer not to have a guy who knows tons about their offense winding up in the division.
So Larry,
I think that's a factor here.
Everything we say every day could be a misread. You could be wrong about Brock Purdy. I could be wrong about the 49ers' opinion of Trey Lance. But these are totally separate things.
Anybody thinks Mark's rooting against Trey, they're wrong.
Nobody.
I don't think anybody thinks you're rooting against Trey, but we're bringing up
or even thinking that he's not good
for failure.
This is a read on what they did. It is not anything other than that. It's simply a read. For me.
But you could be misreading what they did because you're assuming that they're hedging. In fact, you've said they're hedging. They could be hedging, but you know what? It also very much could be about not allowing your secrets. Your quarterback has all your secrets. You don't want him going to the Rams. You don't want him going to the Seahawks. So that could be the priority, and it could not be about a hedge on Trey.
Every single opinion, I could respond that way about every opinion that ever has been shared on sports radio ever. Yes, I could be wrong. Yeah, I could be wrong.
No, but I'm just saying.
But that's my read on what's going on right now. For me personally, this is great. I'm a sports radio host, and the Niners have 2 QBs.
Right?
Yeah, phenomenal. But this is a read on them. Let's get Cam Inman's perspective on that. He joins us next. Much more time for this conversation and for you as well on the phones, Comcast Business text line, YouTube, Twitch, and beyond. Mark Willard, Larry Krueger, 95.7 The Game.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box. All for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New gigabit extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes wireless usage. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible Xfinity gateway.
Pink Floyd's Roger Waters. This is not a drill.
We're doing a show in the round. It's something new. I'll look forward to the challenge.
Featuring his songs from the golden era of Pink Floyd. Friday and Saturday, September 23rd and 24th, Chase Center in San Francisco. Tickets on sale now at rogerwaters.com.
This is not a drill.
Produced by AEG Presents.
Everything, our farm, our stand, our pop-up shop, it really all started when we discovered the benefits of local, raw honey for our family.
And then we decided to turn it into a business.
We were looking for something to help us get up and running.
So we got the Chase Business Complete Banking Account.
It's more than a bank account. It comes with Quick Accept, which lets us take card payments anytime, anywhere in the U.S. using the Chase mobile app. Plus, we get same-day deposits at no extra cost. For us, it's more than honey. It's about sharing a little sweetness with the world.
Get the Chase Business Complete Banking account with the essentials you need to help get your business going. Learn more at chase.com/business-complete-banking. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Quick Accept is not available in U.S. territories. Enrollment required. Usage subject to approval. Same-day deposits available for payments before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday to Friday. Fees and rates apply for checking and processing. Limitations and restrictions apply. Participants compensated. Merchant services provided by Payment Tech LLC and WePay Inc. Subsidiaries of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Are you looking for a rewarding new career? Join the United States Postal Service and apply for roles nationwide. Serve your community with pride and receive benefits including competitive pay and opportunities for advancement. Whether you are looking for full-time, part-time, or seasonal positions, we have options that may be perfect for you. The United States Postal Service is an equal opportunity employer. Apply now at USPS.com/careers.
I know you want one of the new top-rated TVs.
And a low price.
We can get a top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony TV at a better deal than you found on the internet.
No way. Where?
At Video Only. This weekend, they've got special 3-day-only prices on all those top TVs.
Video Only can beat all these deals I've found?
That's right. This weekend, Video Only's got great deals on the best TVs. So let's check them out, or...
We'll be sorry.
Some fans gear up for game day, but some fans follow their team every day. That's why the Locked On Podcast Network has a daily podcast for your favorite NFL team. Every trade, every overtime win, every game. Our local experts cover the biggest stories around your team every day. Search Locked On plus your favorite NFL team on the Odyssey app or wherever you get podcasts. The Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Why choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Because our Sleep Number 360 smart bed is really smart. It senses your movement and automatically adjusts to help keep you both comfortable. Plus, it's temperature balancing so you stay cool. It's even smart enough to know exactly how long, how well, and when you slept. Our smart sleepers get 28 minutes more restful sleep per night. Sleep Number takes care of the science. All you have to do is sleep. Don't miss our Labor Day weekend special where all smart beds are on sale. Save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed plus free delivery when you add a base. Ends Labor Day. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay. Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
Hi, I'm Aaron, owner of California Deluxe Windows. Ever notice? When your neighbors get new windows, there is a large black eye of broken stucco, uneven plaster, and even mismatched paint. At California Deluxe Windows, we never leave a ring around the window. Why? Because we are one of the only companies in California who custom crafts every window and door to your home's exact measurements. Almost everyone else on the radio is a distributor. They grab a window from a warehouse, break open your walls, shove it in, and patch things up. At California Deluxe Windows, we take pride in our work. Our installation technique is so precise, we do not break your stucco. Your house could be covered with potato chips, and we wouldn't crack one.
Call now, and for a limited time, you get 30% off your entire order and 24 months of interest-free financing. 800-874-3600. 800-874-3600. That's 800-874-3600. California Deluxe Windows. Windows engineered for life.
Certain terms and conditions apply. CSLB number 774518.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, kgmz-fm at HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Now, back to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
Larry is in for Dibs. He is a handsome man. Get over to YouTube right now and check it out. What's your T-shirt say? Italian parts? What's happening over here?
It says Casera's Fine Italian Menswear. It's
Okay.
in Dublin. Buddy owns the shop.
Just because Spadone's out, you're trying to like be the Italiano of the show for the day? Huh?
That's right. That's right.
What are you doing? Huh?
I'm half Italian.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Krueger. That doesn't sound Italian.
Well, my dad had the German name, but
What's your mom's maiden name?
She's Irish. So
Okay.
So
where's this Italian part coming from?
my
Larry Krueger.
Well, I've got Italian on both sides. There you go.
Okay, so a quarter plus a quarter equals a half.
Yes.
My dad was a math teacher. I knew that. All right, very good. Get over to YouTube and see the half of Larry that is Italian. Glad you're with us. 888-957-9570, the number. Comcast Business text line. Keep it coming. Your comments on YouTube and Twitch as well. We see those. We see you while you see us. And we see that our 49er insider, Cam Inman, has arrived on the show and apparently needs to pay up some sort of a bet to America's favorite Italian, Larry Krueger. Is that correct, Cam? Is there some sort of bet that needs to be paid off here?
Yeah, I think I owe Larry $1 million that Jimmy Garoppolo's on the 49ers.
Okay, all right, perfect. We will take that in installments. That's fine.
No, I don't think that was the bet. It was whether Brock Purdy was stuck around. And quarterback I had my eyes on. My eyes were on what the heck is going on here with Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo, and we got to see all three of them out of practice yesterday, and that's really where my eyes are, just to see how the whole dynamic's working out, and it's going to be fascinating.
I mean, since you were at practice and Jimmy did sort of say something yesterday about like, hey, the shoulder feels good. It's not 100%, but it feels good. I think I'd love to hear more about that. How did the shoulder look?
Yeah, well, I thought he looked pretty darn good. I mean, I was watching to see. Jimmy's had so many injuries over the last few years. It's like, how's his high ankle sprain? How's his knee? How's his thumb? How's his shoulder? And he looked all put back together. And he looked like he looked lively. The arm looked a little bit crisper maybe than usual. It had been a while since we'd seen him in practice, but that's kind of what I was looking at. And I was just watching to see how he not necessarily interacted with Trey, because when they're doing their drills, it's just kind of you're doing your own thing. But there's a lot of new drills because there's a new quarterbacks coach with Brian Greasy, and so Jimmy's got to learn where to be in certain places. He didn't look too out of his element. He didn't look super comfortable, but like you said, I mean, it's almost like it's a stopgap measure almost in his career. It's like, okay, this is the bridge until I move along somewhere else. He's not here to mentor Trey Lance. He's not here to take back his old job, but he's here. And I don't think anybody is offended by that. And I think it's, okay, this could work out. I don't think it's going to erupt into something bad.
You know, it's interesting. I think it's situational. I think both sides are doing what's best for them, and I think it just happens that they've arrived on the same page here. But you could say this is a hedge against Trey. I don't know that it's a hedge against Trey's play or a hedge against Trey getting hurt and them having to go to the backup quarterback and not really having a backup quarterback or at least one that they think they can win with. What is your view on how this plays out as far as the dynamic? Because Trey and Jimmy both said all the right things. Nothing's changed with our relationship. That's believable, but how's it going to play out in that room?
Well, and I wrote about it today a little bit because I just don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is even one of the top 5 mentors that Trey Lance. Trey's going to be getting it from Shanahan, from Greasy. There's other assistant quarterback coaches in there. Maybe Shanahan dips his head in there. Maybe it's Steve Young calling him up. Jimmy's got to do his own thing to be prepared. Like, it's the whole backup quarterback cliche. I got to be preparing like a starter. Thankfully, Jimmy didn't throw that out there yesterday. He was much more, I think, honest and humble about everything. I mean, they're both really good guys. And it just would have been surprising if Jimmy came out yesterday and said, I'm determined to win back my old job. I'm a starter in the league. And he knows he's a starter in the league. And it's just right now there's not a spot for it. But guess what? Give it a week, give it 2 weeks, give it 3 weeks. A spot may open up. So it's not a long-term solution. To me, it's not like, okay, Jimmy's settling in, he's going to be the nice backup quarterback for a whole season. Nobody knows that. It's just kind of almost the same predicament we were in a couple of weeks ago where it's like, look, if a quarterback goes down on a contending team and they're not really that committed to that quarterback, then Jimmy can bounce. I mean, even if it's a good team,
Cam Inman, our 49er insider, with us. Cam, I want to check your phone real quick. Make sure we're getting it's breaking up a little bit, and we want to hear every single word that you're saying. You got us okay?
Yeah, I got you good.
Okay, perfect. Now, yeah, you're sounding nice and clear now. And I'm going to do something really crazy, too, which is I'm going to ask you about a different Trey. How about that? What if there were discussions about trading Trey Sermon, then and he was going to end up getting cut? Why didn't they do it?
Well, I think look at how the roster is, right? And it is a run-oriented offense still. Trey Sermon's best asset as a running back kind of was more of a third down back. He was a guy that had good hands, probably could pass protect pretty well, but he just wasn't like their style of cut and go runner. But that was okay. That's not their marquee. Like they want to have the mainstay running backs, right? So your mainstay running backs are Elijah Mitchell, right? You got Ty Davis Price, who's kind of the pound and ground guy. And then Jordan Mason, who could do it all. He was very intriguing where you didn't want to let him go because he could be a mainstay guy. So by getting rid of Trey Sermon and JaMychal Hasty, you kind of got rid of these third down backs where Jeff Wilson Jr. can take care of that role pretty well, I think. And then it just maybe the market wasn't there where they've, or maybe they didn't want to trade him to a certain team. I don't know. But I think it's worked out fine. I mean, I don't think anybody is surprised that Trey Sermon is off the roster.
And Sermon just looked tentative. If there's a word that I would use, it's tentative. He just didn't quite look like he was really letting it go in the games. Right. I thought he looked okay in practice, but in the games, especially in short yardage, he looked tentative. How about the O-line? Because, you're only as good as your O-line. I thought that if there was any news that came out of the presser, it's that the Brunskill hamstring is not 100%. We know McGlinchey's not 100%. And it sounds like Zakel is on the verge of maybe becoming their long-term center. But how concerned are you about the 49er offensive line?
I'm concerned to an extent, but I don't think a lot of teams around the league have a great offensive line. And I think you have a really good play caller that knows how to minimize where the risk might be. You're facing Aaron Donald twice a year. Not every team has the Aaron Donald coming at you. Where they brought in this guy, Hance, he lined up as the second string left guard behind Aaron Banks, right? Like right away, but he's also the backup center. So that's why they went out and got him in case Brunskill can't go. They're going to make a go of this with Banks, Brendel, and Burford on the interior. But any line that has Trent Williams at left tackle protecting the blind side of your quarterback, it's an above-average line, okay? And especially in today's NFL. It's not like everybody has 4 Pro Bowl linemen. Even if they do, like the Colts or somebody, there's other issues with the offense. You got a pretty good coach, and you got some dynamic weapons all around him.
Cam Inman with us, 49er Insider on 95.7 The Game. I also want to ask you about Jaquiski Tartt. A little bit of a surprise cut by the Eagles. I think some people almost assumed the 49ers would grab him with their issues at safety, but he hasn't been grabbed by anybody yet. What do you think's going on there, if anything, Cam? And gone. Okay. All right. See if you can get Cam back. And we'll keep rocking and rolling as well. We'll get to some of your calls here at 888-957-9570. Your favorite radio guest, Adam Rank, is coming up in 20 minutes because he's a whole lot of fun. He can talk about anything in the NFL. And I would venture to guess a lot of people are having fantasy drafts this weekend. I would venture to guess. And Adam is really, really good on that as well.
He's good. I enjoy him actually on the NFL Network, though his predictions on the Niners are almost always go the other way.
Right.
They went 13-3. Didn't he have them 3-13?
3-13.
Yeah,
yes, that was the famous one. And you got George Kittle going on and everything. Okay, is Cam back? All right, Cam, you got us now? All right, let's thanks, Cam. We'll talk to you. We'll talk to you when you reach a different dimension with your cell phone. What do you think about that?
Bomb shelter, Cam.
It just didn't happen. So,
one of the interesting developments I think in the entire offseason that we really haven't talked about, but it's like when you watch the team and when you watch the players interact with each other, you can see that this guy has ascended from not afterthought, but, a lot of people thought special teamer to what he is now. And I'm talking about Talanoa Hufanga. Hufanga is really highly thought of by the 49ers. Like when they get out there and stretch, it's usually Jimmy Ward and Hufanga that are kind of leading the thing. Hufanga, you heard Lynch talk about him yesterday. He's got a lot of confidence in Hufanga. So they feel great about their starting safeties with Jimmy Ward, if Jimmy Ward's healthy, and you got Hufanga there. Because Hufanga's, every time this team reconvenes, whether it be minicamp, training camp, he gets better. And then when you watch him, he's really there with D'Amico, and they're dialoguing quite a bit. He's working on his techniques constantly, and he's working on his athleticism. So I think they're, in a lot of ways, the Tart question's interesting because I do expect they're going to at least kick tires on Tart on coming back. But they love their number one safeties, and they think it could be the strength of their D.
Yeah, so maybe if there's another injury, I mean, obviously they don't have a roster spot right now to bring in a backup offensive lineman. They cut Trey Sermon, so maybe kick the can down the road. I was just a little surprised to not see him get picked up by anybody once the Eagles let him go. Let's go live to Hot Take Jake with this Jaquiski Tart update. Yeah, what's up, Kyle?
Yeah, talk to some people, and I'm not sure Jaquiski Tart wants to be in San Francisco.
Oh.
So I don't know if he sees them as an option unless they're going to like way overpay him, which they're not want to do at this point.
Okay, and am I reaching to think that might have something to do with how he was treated after the dropped pick?
No, I don't think it was necessarily that. I think it had to do with stuff earlier in the season, like he went on IR. And that was a little bit of an issue, I think, and just kind of how they treated some of that injury stuff with him.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, and he's had multiple stints already with them, right? Didn't he go away and come back already once? Or was he cleared waivers?
Tart
maybe
was always around.
Okay, maybe not.
I'm not remembering that, but
I mean, they drafted him, and now Hufanga's ascended into his starting position. And if he were a little bit turned off to the reaction last year, I think that would be fair. He did own his mistake.
He sure did.
And there were an awful lot of people who still, to this moment, kind of, hold his feet to the fire on that thing, and maybe he just wants to turn the page.
I mean, gosh, if we held feet to the fire every time a DB drops a pick, holy hell. I mean, I get that it was the situation. It was the NFC title game. But, my gosh, like, how many picks in the playoffs would Jimmy have thrown if DBs caught all the balls that were thrown to them?
Well, and then the other emphasis is that, when you look at Tart's production on the ball as far as interceptions throughout his career, and you look at they just brought in Tayshaun Gibson. Gibson has 27 career interceptions. I think they're putting a higher priority now on getting the turnovers and interception production from their safeties, and he just doesn't have that. That's not his game.
Let's go to Sean in Napa. Mark Willard, Larry Krueger, 95.7 The Game. Hello, Sean. What are you doing?
I'm actually driving here on 880, going to visit my mom in Mountain View, and later tonight I'm going to go meet Trey Lance, a huge autograph show at the Santa Clara Convention Center, so I'm going to go get my autograph from Trey Lance.
I want you to tell both of these people upon arrival that you love them, okay? Your mom and Trey Lance.
I will.
All right.
So what's on your mind?
I put my mom in the same company as Trey Lance. So
there you go.
Them both. So
good for your mom. All right.
I'm gonna. So I want to talk about this Niner defense and everything. I have a couple of wild predictions for you guys, but I believe there's going to be three. I believe the Niners are going to have multiple shutouts this year as a defense. And my second prediction is there's going to be three members of the Niner defense with 10 or more sacks. I'm going to name them right now. Bosa, which he's going to have Bosa, Kinlaw, and Drake, and Bosa is going to break the single-season sack record this year. That's my wild prediction.
So three double-digit sackers, and none of them are Eric Armstead. That's interesting.
Kinlaw is going to wind up with 10.5 sacks.
I don't know about that.
You realize Kinlaw's played 18 NFL games. He's got 1.5. 1.5 sacks in 18 games.
But I mean, and he's an interior lineman. He didn't always play well. He's very rarely been healthy. I mean,
he's a 2-down kind of guy. I mean, I think he's a 3-down guy, but he's not a pass rusher, really.
Big year for him.
Yeah.
It's a really, it
could be awesome.
And the hype is that, yes, this is a healthier, more focused, more everything version of Javon Kinlaw, and the preseason suggested that maybe there is a reason for that hype. But now here we go. Now you got to do it. And what I always hate, I hate when an NFL player, this happened for years to Jimmy Ward. And it's funny that we've gotten on the other side of it, because there was a time in Jimmy Ward's career where if you gave us, he's on the list and he's going to miss the first 4 games.
Of course he is, right?
Gone, oh my God,
he's
I can't believe that you kept Jimmy Ward. He's gotten through that. And now we love him, and he's played a phenomenal football. But Kinlaw's in that bad spot where now it's going to get held against him if he gets hurt, which I hate in football because it's just obviously patently not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Kinlaw, by the way, looked so dominant in the one-on-one, in the practices with the Vikings.
Okay.
When he bulldozed the center, I mean, and then that sack in the game that he had on the stunt. I mean, if Kinlaw fulfills his potential and stays healthy, and Charvarius and Jimmy are healthy on the back end, this defense is going to be incredible.
Well, Kinlaw, I was thinking about that draft, the Kinlaw draft and the trade of Defoe and all of that stuff. I was thinking about it this morning because actually I was driving in and I'm listening to Bonte and Steven talk about CeeDee Lamb. And you remember that pick that so many people thought it's going to be Jerry Jeudy or it's going to be CeeDee Lamb.
They're going receiver early.
They were all still there. Everyone was like, oh, they're not going to be there. They're all still there. And the Niners were like, nah, we're out. Like, we're not going to do that. And so they go ahead and replace. And then, CD has become a dude. We'll see about Jeudy now that he's got him. Right. I mean, there were some very, very good receivers. But in this moment, I still don't regret the way they went. I think conceptually they were doing it right. And we've reached a spot maybe better than any time in recent memory, where as a 49er fan, you're comfortable with the receiving core. I like their receiving core. I think they've got their receiving core where it needs to be.
They're stacked at receiver. I mean, they're stacked at running back, wide receiver, D-line. I mean, they got a bunch of spots that they're really, really stacked at. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be they're set at. I mean, they've got some nice players at all these positions. But my only concern up front is, can they replace DJ Jones against the run? Can they stop the run? If the Niners can stop the inside run, man, they got depth of pass rushers. They got depth of D-line. They got the best linebacking core in the game. They got an improved secondary. It's going to be a really, really fun year if they can stop the run, right up the middle.
Well, Kyle was doing this yesterday because clearly he doesn't have enough to do. We've actually discussed this with Kyle. He's very, very excited about some things socially that he's got in his life coming up. And you and I both laughed because he was like, I can't wait. Like, I don't usually get this opportunity. Like, there's just not much on the calendar. And both of us looked at him and go, you don't have kids, do you?
Right.
Like, you have no idea what a day to yourself is like after you've had kids.
You don't even dream for a day by yourself.
You don't get to celebrate that before you even had kids. But anyway, back to Kyle and his life. Like, he's sitting around yesterday, and yes, this is partially his job, but he's ranking the 49er position groups. And I think Barrows with The Athletic did a piece on this as well. And I was thinking about, like, position groups. What is the strongest position group on the 49ers? If you just had to pick one, are you going D-line?
No.
What's the strongest position group?
It's linebacker.
Linebacker.
And it's like, and you know what? If you knew nothing about football and you just watched the Niners kind of on the practice field, you would say linebacker as well, because their linebackers exude athleticism, physical dominance, and just confidence and swagger. Johnny Holland is their coach, and they just kind of bounce around. Every one of those guys. I mean, literally almost every single linebacker they have is a starting caliber linebacker. And they're all three of their starters are all Pro Bowl caliber as well.
I mean, the only position group, and I guess you do have to call quarterback a position group, so maybe you'd put this in there, although with the depth of it, even the unknown, there's tons of unknown, but with the depth of it, you pretty much feel comfortable with the quarterback room with the 49ers. There's only one position group where I'm like, I don't know, and that's the offensive line. That's the only one. And even that, I mean, it's bookended. It's got some things on it that you can count on, obviously starting with Trent Williams. But that secondary, Ward will be back. I love what they're doing. I think this is maybe the best corner tandem they've had in a long time. I'm a big Charvarius Ward fan. I think Mosley's ready to go. Love some of the young guys they brought in at that position. I think that group's going to be good. You just talked about the linebackers. We know about the pass rush. Hope that Kinlaw is a lot better. Tight end group, receiver group, running back group.
Tight end is a problem, I think.
I mean,
I agree.
You got Kittle.
You got Kittle, but like if you don't have Kittle, you don't have much.
That's like saying the offensive line's good because they have Trent Williams.
Well, no, because the offensive line has 5 starters and the tight end spot only has 1. So, listen, I know that it sounded to me the other day like you're down on Ross Dwelly. Didn't they bring Tyler Kroft back?
They did.
Or they're going to.
I mean, they're not. Some people would say it's a strength. I've heard people argue that I think Lynch might have referenced that they like their tight ends.
Yeah, but he said he liked Trey Sermon. And then he caught him.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
No, but I mean, I think, you got Kittle, who's your best run blocker and pass receiver. Dwelly is not a blocker. He gets overpowered. Warner is more of a try-hard blocker.
He's a blocker, yeah.
But he's not. He doesn't move people in the run game. He's more of a try-hard guy. So they miss Kittle.
It's such a passive-aggressive rip to say he's a try-hard guy. Like Yoda would look at Charlie Warner and be like, "Get the hell off my team."
Charlie Warner will attach himself to you. And he just won't let go.
One thing that was missing was bless his heart.
Right.
Bless his heart.
I'm going to save this take for week 7 if Trey Lance is struggling. Well, Larry, he's trying.
He's a try-hard guy.
Whatever. It's okay that they're 2-5 because he's trying.
I used to have old football coach, but don't try hard. Get her done.
Get her done.
Get her done.
And there is no try.
But I mean, Kroft, okay, journeyman veteran, Dwell. I mean, if you lose Kittle, you've lost so much.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
The drop down is so dramatic. To me, there was 3 guys 2 weeks ago that you couldn't lose: Trey, Trent, and Kittle. Now you got Jimmy, so you're not as concerned about Trey.
I kind of throw Juszczyk in there, by the way, just because he's one of a kind.
Yeah, and
change the offense a little bit when he's not in there.
Yeah, there's no backup.
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead with your.
But I was going to say, and then Trent, obviously Trent's
Sure.
a unicorn, and then you've got Kittle, who's like dominant run blocker, dominant, receiver. I mean, he's just so key in so many ways. And also, Kittle is their swagger offensively. Like when he's on the field, they have a swagger that they don't have without him.
All of it is sponsored by Kirby. That is the great Italian Larry Krueger. Mark Willard with you as well, Willard and Dibs. I'm excited about what's coming up next because not only is it our friend, Adam Rank, with NFL.com, NFL Network. He, too, give me the most versatile 49er. Who's the most versatile 49er?
Most versatile 49er.
Give me a name.
Dante Johnson.
All right, Dante Johnson is the most versatile.
An elite answer.
Yeah, it is. It's an interesting answer. Is that because he's so versatile because he gets signed every year? He
can play corner. He can play nickel. He can play free safety, strong safety. He can get cut.
He can get cut.
Practice squad, active roster.
He can flirt with other teams. And he's still there.
He's a guy who high-fived Shanahan and Harbaugh. You know what I mean?
He got drafted in 2014.
That's unbelievable.
He's still here.
All right, it's a very good answer. All right, so that's how I feel about Adam Rank. Super versatile because we can get into Garoppolo and Trey with this guy. We can get into Tom Brady's teeth.
I have 5 wide receivers. I can only play 3.
Okay, we can do that. And I'm so confused on this, or conflicted is a much better word. I feel like I just want to turn this question over to Adam. And whatever he says, I'm going with it. Next week, I got the number 2 pick, half PPR. I need to know who my guy is. I'm assuming the guy in front of me is taking Jonathan Taylor. I have convinced and unconvinced myself
Go receiver.
Of 5 different names. My brain is just full. Adam, tell me what to do. And whatever he says, I will accept it, and I will go with it.
That's a good one. I want to know from him who's the running back if you didn't have Elijah Mitchell that you'd want fantasy-wise for the Niners.
That's good as well. I think I want to answer that one, too. So Adam Rank is coming up next on 95.7 The Game.
I'm Michael Jenkins, helping you beat the books with BetQL. The best and worst face-off in New York as the Mets host the Nationals. Leading Washington by nearly 40 games in the division, it's tough to find value at the money line in New York. But never fear, BetQL still thinks you can play the Mets. With a not-so-juicy minus 130, New York on the run line is easier to lay than minus 275 on the money line. With the Mets expected to dominate Washington, the BetQL 5-star play of the day is to take New York on the run line over the Nats.
Staples has everything for school at great prices. So this year you won't go back to school. You'll be ready to move forward and master 5th grade math.
I can't do this. It's impossible.
Not you, Dad, your daughter. Staples will help her move forward.
Right.
Right now, Staples one-subject notebooks are just 35 cents each. Plus, during the backpack clearance event, you'll save up to 50% on select backpacks, lunch bags, and water bottles. Staples, this year we're not going back. We're going forward to school. In-store only, ends 9/3, limit 30 on notebooks.
Kirby is your driveway mechanic. They bring the shop to you with brake and tire replacements, oil changes, and so much more. Get $50 off your first oil change with code OIL50 at Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com and use code OIL50.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you may be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to GetRefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to GetRefunds.com. That's GetRefunds.com.
At Left Coast Buyers, we buy properties all over California. If you own a house or an apartment building and want to sell it fast at a great price, call us at 925-434-5000. We can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. We buy properties in any condition, any price range. Do you own a property that is run down and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Are you out of time, money, and energy? Are you looking for an easy way to get top dollar for your property and sell on your terms and timeline? Well, call Left Coast Buyers now at 925-434-5000. We buy divorce houses, inherited houses. We even buy vacant houses and abandoned houses. Do you have a tenant who hasn't paid? Are you behind on property taxes, mortgage payments, or even facing a foreclosure? Even if you're just nervous about capital gains or an upcoming recession, we've seen it all. So if you or someone you know owns a property and needs to sell, call Left Coast Buyers at 925-434-5000. That's 925-434-5000.
I know you want one of the new top-rated TVs.
And a low price.
We can get a top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony TV at a better deal than you found on the internet.
No way. Where?
At Video Only. This weekend, they've got special 3-day-only prices on all those top TVs.
Video Only can beat all these deals I've found?
That's right. This weekend, Video Only's got great deals on the best TVs. So let's check them out, or
we'll be sorry.
Have you ever hired a commercial painting company, then been stuck managing your own project? Hi, this is Matt Jesse, president of MB Jesse Painting. We know how busy you are and that you need professional painters who are actually professionals. My team has the experience, training, and credentials to get the job done. If you've been waiting for the right time to paint, this is it. Call 855-MB-JESSE today or visit us online at mbjesse.com.
MB Jesse. Don't waste your time trying to sell your old car. Donate it to Cars for Kids. It's the easiest and fastest way to donate your car and get a tax deduction. Donate online at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Attention veterans. If you were stationed at Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987, you and your family may be victims of toxic water poisoning. Cancers, birth defects, deadly illnesses have all been linked to the contaminated water. Congress is now holding the government accountable. You could be awarded financial compensation for your suffering, but you must act now. Get your free case review. Call True Law at 877-560-8555, 877-560-8555, or visit sickvets.com. That's sickvets.com.
The Labor Day event from Dell Technologies is here. End the summer strong by starting up a new season of productivity. Your business upgrade begins with up to 48% off top-rated laptops, like Vostro, taking performance to the next level with 12th Gen Intel Core processors. It's time to push your growing business even further. What's next for you? Upgrade today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Hey, I got a question. Do you hate bending over to put on your shoes? Wish you could just put them on standing or sitting without ever having to touch them? If so, then I have the shoe for you. Introducing new hands-free Skechers Slip-ins. Footwear you don't need to touch to put on, and it's only from Skechers, the comfort technology company. With new Skechers Slip-ins, you just step in and off you go. You don't even need to lace up. And these are not your standard slip-on shoes. This is the next level slip-in technology, so it's even easier. How do Skechers Slip-ins work? Well, there's a special smooth comfort pillow in the heel that helps your foot slide right into place. And it also keeps your feet secure in heavenly comfort, which means they stay on just like a pair of laced-up sneakers, and you can even put them on with your hands full. What are you, rushing out the door with your kids? No problem. Just step in them and go. Look, we all hate bending over and struggling to put on our dirty, old, germy shoes, but now, just get Skechers Slip-ins and never touch your shoes again. Find new hands-free Skechers Slip-ins for the whole family at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Now, back to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
Oh, my goodness. That's right. I do. I need a remedy. I need a remedy for my number 2 pick problems. I know those are first world problems, but we're going to figure it out. Larry Krueger is not only handsome and Italian. If you want to see a handsome man, my gosh, the picture that we've got up right now on YouTube of Adam Rank, YouTube, Twitch. Get over to YouTube and Twitch right now for this conversation with one of our favorites. He is NFL Network's and NFL.com's Adam Rank. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is. Hello, sir.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much for having me. So excited to be here every time I hear the beat, the guitar riff from Remedy, even though the show Tilt from ESPN tried to ruin that song for us all. Love hearing it. Love being here. Thanks to both of you.
Yeah, no, it fires all of us up, as does next week's game. And I don't know if people know this.
Oh, you know what? Can I say something about that?
Sure. Of course you
Real
can.
quick?
Yeah.
Do you mind?
No.
Our social media kid, his name's Aaron. He's a 49ers fan.
Okay.
And so he shows me whenever my name shows up on the 49ers Reddit. And do the 49ers fans not understand? Like, I'm a Bears fan. I do not hate the 49ers. Oh, I mean, my dad does from the 80s, but I don't hate the 49ers. Of course I'm going to pick the Bears. I pick the Bears every week. It is not a personal thing. Do I have to go back? I scared some poor kid yesterday because I was crowing about something I had written about Dameon Pierce back in June.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Rank finally got one right. Where are all the other misses? So I pulled up the screen grab of myself being the only NFL Network personality who picked the 49ers to beat the Green Bay Packers last year. I'm like, here's one. Dude deleted his account. But listen,
Wow.
I hate the 49ers. I'm picking the Bears partly because I'm a Bears fan, and I've convinced myself it's going to happen.
Okay, all right. So we'll lean into the bit. Go ahead. Final score, September 11th, Soldier Field. By the way, Adam, I'll be in attendance. I'm going to this. This is the first time. Yeah, I've never been to Soldier Field before. This is going to be it. We are 9 days away from this debut. Please tell me the inside scoop.
Oh, my gosh. I got to figure out a way to get there now.
Yeah, you do.
No, yeah.
I
don't have a Sunday show this year, so I can probably make a few games.
Okay.
I think, listen, last year when these two teams hooked up, I thought it was a very close game. You looked at it, obviously, whenever they show the Justin Fields B-roll, they show his touchdown on fourth against the 49ers. It was the defense that kind of let them down. And this offseason, that's one of the reasons why they went out and used their first 2 picks, which were in the second round, on Kyler Gordon, who's familiar with a lot of people in the Bay Area because he played in Washington, and, of course, Jaquan Brisker. And if that defense can hold up a little bit, and we've seen what Matt Eberflus's defenses can do against the 49ers, although it was against Jimmy Garoppolo, I think this will be a spirited contest once again, and I have the Bears winning a squeaker.
Well, we'll see. We shall see.
I like the word squeaker.
Yeah,
that's fun.
And the Bears lost a lot up front, though, right? I mean, there's no Eddie Goldman, there's no Akeem Hicks, there's no Khalil Mack. I mean, these guys, it's not quite the defense it was a few years back up front.
Our IR looks much different now, yes.
Yeah. Hey, what's your read on, if Elijah Mitchell is the Niners' number one back, where do you put Ty Davis Price? And I mean, I like rookie running backs, and I like the kid Zamir White from the Raiders, and I love the Rashad White from Tampa. But where do you put TDP in the whole rookie running back class?
Well, you're talking to a guy who was all in on Trey Sermon a few years ago, but I'm undeterred. I will still listen. I look at these offenses, and even though Mike McDaniel is obviously the new head coach of the Miami Dolphins, the Shanahan running scheme is going to be just that. They're going to focus on the run. And as much as everybody loves Debo and George and Brandon, I still think that this team wants to run first. And especially with Trey Lance as a starting quarterback, the best way that you can help develop these young quarterbacks, and we saw it last year in Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts, run the football, be effective, be efficient, and then let Trey do his thing where he uses a lot of play action. He can stretch the field and stuff like that. So for me, I love the rookie. I love Elijah Mitchell an awful lot. So yeah, when you're in those middle rounds, I say this: rookie running backs, second-year wide receivers. It's like real estate speculation. Once you get past the filling out your roster, you got your starters going, and you can start, taking some risks. That's where you want to start honing in on those guys, especially you talked about Zamir White. I think that guy's going to be fantastic, and I think that's somebody that the Raiders really love.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think Josh Jacobs' stock is falling with McDaniel.
When they ran him 30 times in the Hall of Fame game, I think that was the signal.
That was the clue. That was the first clue. Adam Rank, NFL Network, is with us here on 95.7 The Game. And Adam, I'm gonna tease this. Don't do it yet, but I want you to swirl it around in your coffee a little bit. I already, right before you came on, I told everybody I am going to let you, because I've confused my brain with this, I am going to let you make a pick for me in my fantasy draft next weekend. I have the number 2 pick, half-point PPR. I can convince myself of 4 different people. I'm now just confused and frustrated, so I'm going to hand it to you, but don't do it yet. Just think about that.
Yeah.
I
know where we're going.
Whatever you say, I'm going to go with it. And then if it doesn't work, I'll just text you every Sunday and be angry. But while you think about that, I want you to expand on what you just said about the Niners are going to run the ball and people love Debo, love George. So it's going to get all spread out. You've got a first-year starter at quarterback. You've got the running game. Is there anyone who's going to be like a really good fantasy performer on the 49ers this year, in your opinion?
No, I really love Eli. Like I think that he's fantastic, and I'm always tickled. I've been going with different strategies throughout the draft process here, and I got a number of drafts this weekend as well. And you know what? Every time I'm sitting there and I find Elijah Mitchell right there, Eli Mitchell, I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm going in on it. I know he's, there's always some injury concern, but that's every running back. I'm not going to concern myself with that. I'm going to go with the talent, the scheme, coaches that I trust. Like, that's the one thing about the 49ers. Like, I know that I can trust them. Debo, who I love, is starting to get a little too rich for my blood, but at the same time, George Kittle's now starting to become a bargain. Like, I see him, like, obviously, he's like the 4th tight end off the board. I said something about Dalton Schultz the other day, and somebody was like, well, he got drafted ahead of George Kittle. I'm like, okay, do that. So I'm starting to see a good value on George Kittle. We love Elijah Mitchell. Depending on how you want to root for this, I favor Justin Fields because I'm a Bears fan. So when it comes to that part of the draft where people are determining whether they want to go with Trey Lance or Justin, I'm going to go with Justin Fields. But at the same time, I think there's still good values. I think that we're getting a bargain on most of the 49ers outside of Debo.
It's funny. We had our draft last week, and I'm always looking for like that one or two players that I think is going to win the league for me. That I can get late, that somebody didn't count on. The two guys that I kind of centered on this draft, I reached for one, Dameon Pierce, the running back from the Texans. I really think he's going to be terrific this year. And then I'm taking a guess, looking at Green Bay. Somebody's going to benefit from playing with Rodgers. I think it's Romeo Doubs, the Nevada kid. But that kind of flies right in the face of what you just said about rookie receivers. So what do you think? Give me those two, or is there a rookie that you think, man, you can win your league by getting this guy in the 5th round or later?
I don't hate Romeo Doubs because I think that whenever you hear camp buzz on a player and then he goes out and backs it up in the games, that's something that we kind of like. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we had not heard anything about Romeo Doubs and then he went out and had a couple of pops in the preseason games, it's a little bit different as opposed to like, nope, they had been talking him up. Everybody who covers the Packers was talking about how great he was, and then he went out and he backed it up. So I feel very comfortable with that one. I do like a lot of the rookies. Like Breece Hall is the first running back off the board, the first rookie running back off the board. But I really like James Cook. I really think that he's a dynamic player, and the Bills have been trying to settle their rushing attack over the last couple of days. They just can't do it, I mean, Josh Allen has been their leading rusher. And if the Bills really do have aspirations of being a Super Bowl team, your quarterback can't be your leading rusher. So I really like James Cook. And then Dameon Pierce is somebody that I'm glad you did this draft earlier because the price is getting out of hand. Like, everybody's going in. It's like a restaurant that opens, and like the first week you go in there, it's like comfortable. You're like, okay, didn't have to wait for a table. And then you go back the following week once the buzz is out and there's a line out the door. It's an hour. You can't even get bottle service. There's a lot of things going on. Right. But I also like somebody else from that Texans offense. I think Nico Collins could be one of those second-year breakout wide receivers. We love his ability. We feel like the Texans are going to be in a lot of deficit games where they have to throw the football. So that's good. And I'm also weirdly into Devonta Smith of the second-year wide receiver. I've seen people fall in love with Jalen Waddle, but I'm like, you know what? Devonta Smith, I think, has a better situation. Even with A.J. Brown there, they're going – I think that opens it up for Smith more than Tyreek Hill opens it up for Jalen Waddle. So those are some of the guys. Oh, and speaking of the Packers, Aaron Jones, love him. Although the price is starting to creep up, if you missed out on Aaron Jones, don't hesitate in taking A.J. Dillon, because to me, outside of Aaron Rodgers, the two best offensive players on that team are Dillon and Aaron Jones. Yep.
And although that's coming from a Bears fan, so if you say you love Packers, we really, really have to listen.
Right. You got to pay attention.
Yeah.
You got to pay attention.
All right. Adam Rank, NFL Network. We've reached that moment. I need it. It's a half-point PPR. We're going to go ahead and assume that Jonathan Taylor is grabbed by my stupid friend who has the number one pick. What are you doing, or what I should say, are we doing with our number 2 overall pick this year? My hands are wrapped tightly against one another because I really want you to say something that feels right.
Okay. Well, we're both, I've taken and have many shares of this player. And you know what? A lot of people have been scared off because of what happened the last couple of years, but we're going to go with Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. That's it.
Is that what you wanted?
Well, that was one of the 4 players that I said you could convince me of.
One of the 4, yeah.
Yeah. My Let's 4 players.
That's right.
It was McCaffrey, Eckler, Jefferson, and Dalvin. Yeah. Those are the 4 players you could convince me of.
Oh, my God. Really?
Yeah.
I love the Vikings offense.
Right.
Half-point PP. You know what? You want to go? Okay.
Don't change.
You want to get
no,
change?
Don't change.
Yes, change.
You don't know because that's just feeding my confusion.
It's not feeding your confusion because I thought your 4 were going to be Austin Eckler, Derrick Henry, and then somebody else.
No, Cup.
I should have asked for the 4.
Cup is too it's too hot because of last year. Henry doesn't catch passes, so no, it's the Vikings and Eckler and McCaffrey.
Oh my gosh, yeah, this is the thing. Like, this is what I don't like doing to people because I'm super crazy about the Vikings. I love it.
Yeah,
but I don't want to make people who are not. If I would have known this was your 4, I honestly think the two Vikings are our choice. You're going to have.
I told him Jefferson.
You're just confusing me more. Adam, make a pick.
We're not confusing. No, final call. Jefferson. Justin Jefferson, final answer. We're going Justin Jefferson.
Oh, my gosh.
That's
Oh,
what
my
we're going
gosh.
with.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
Going
Oh, my
with
gosh.
it.
Okay.
You know what we're doing?
Okay.
When we're coming back around, and Peter Schrager helped push me, convince me today, because I'd been on the fence on this player. In the second round or the third round, depending on how you feel, we'll see who's available. We got to get in on Javonte Williams
from Denver.
I was in on him, and then I was out because I'm like, Melvin Gordon is still there. But then Peter pushed it home, and I'm like, you know what? No, he's right.
Okay. All right.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
go.
All right.
It's a good call.
I'm listening. I mean, you're Adam Rank. From James Robinson to Damian Pierce. You're my guy, and so we're gonna do it. And if it doesn't work, it's your fault. Okay.
I'm gonna go try to find a draft where I've got the second. You know what? I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take Justin Jefferson.
Okay,
Along.
Tell me how it goes. Tell me what
You're
happens.
doing it, I'm doing it.
Yeah. Okay, done. All right, Adam. Thank you.
No, thank you. I'm glad we did this. I'm glad we worked it out.
Me too.
Enjoy bottle service at whatever restaurant you go to as well.
I meant cork. You couldn't get corkage.
Corkage fee.
Yeah.
I'm not a bottle service. I got corkage.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Let's not overdo it. Right.
I messed up my own metaphor.
Thank you, sir, and I'll talk to you next week.
All right, that sounds amazing.
All right, I can't wait. There he goes, Adam Rank. I guess he's got a Bears podcast, and I'm going to go do his pod next Tuesday, and we're going to talk Niners-Bears for an hour or something. Yeah, so it's going to be great.
I just talked to Tom Thayer, who's on the broadcast team for the Bears, getting ready for that game next week.
What did he have to say?
Well, Tom Thayer's, he's always got good things to say about the Bears. They're always hopeful this time of year.
Well, isn't it great? I mean, everybody's 0-0, and who the hell knows? I mean, we did that exercise yesterday where we were trying to come up with 4 teams who did not make the playoffs last year, who we think will this year. And the reason we did that is because for 32 consecutive years, it's happened. At least 4 teams who were not in the playoffs the year before made the playoffs. And it's not an easy exercise, but the fun part about it is let your mind go a little bit. Even to come up with those 4 is a struggle. And then add in, we're probably wrong. So this idea that we know the Bears are terrible and the Lions are terrible. Do you know? Do you know? No.
I like to look. To me, it's if you're going to handicap that whole thing, you got to break it down as far as the rest of the division. What do you think's happening? And Green Bay's a lock to win double digits. They always win 13 or so. And then you got Detroit.
By the way, I don't buy that this year.
You think they backslide?
I think that Green Bay and Tampa Bay are both just being shoved into the division champion circle because of their quarterbacks and their pedigree, and they may be right, but there are many reasons to question what their offensive rosters look like. There have been changes outside of the quarterback position with both of those teams, and both have other teams in the division that I'm curious about. I'm curious about the Vikings this year.
I am too. I think Vikings, Detroit, and
Carolina Saints. I'm curious about these teams.
To me, Minnesota and Detroit and Green Bay are all better than Chicago. So I think Chicago's going to wind up in the bottom.
I agree with you, but what I guess I'm saying is I'm opening my mind to the idea that at least 1 or 2 teams this year in the NFL who we think are going to stink won't.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Carolina, to me, looks really good. Carolina's got weapons. Baker's playing well. He's got a new lease on life. They get after their pass rusher. They got corners. Carolina looks good to me.
That will be, I will borrow Kyle's nickname for just a moment. Allow me to be Hot Take Jake for 1 second. The Packers and Buccaneers. One of those 2 will not win the division this year.
I thought you were going to say won't make the playoffs.
At least, no. Well,
I did too.
I think that they're playoff teams just by virtue, and we've talked a lot about this. I don't know how many teams in the NFC. If you're one of the teams that has a good quarterback, and this is why I'm so focused and hopeful that Trey is really good, because if the 49ers get competent quarterback play, they're in. There just aren't enough good quarterbacks in the NFC. If you've got a really good quarterback, you should be in, because there's also going to be some teams that get in that are and just that's not the greatest quarterback, because how many are there? There's Brady, there's Rodgers, I guess you could put Stafford on that list. And then we immediately get to the B-level players, which is Kyler Murray and Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts and maybe Trey Lance. And you don't know. Like, yeah, they're solid, but it's not like they've got this resume in this league. So the good quarterbacks, the really established guys, you should probably at least make the playoffs. But I just think
Brady's 45.
Yeah, like I mean, Brady.
Stafford's hurt coming into the year.
And Aaron Rodgers is
just lost Devontae.
And he's on something. So, I mean, who knows? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's
the reigning two-time MVP, though.
Yes, he is.
So, I mean, I think Rodgers is going to be just fine.
I think he's going to be fine in the end, and I do think they'll make the playoffs. But do I think the Vikings are at least able to put a scare in them? Yeah.
I love the new head coach for the Vikings, Kevin O'Connell. I think he's smart.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and then the division for the 49ers is a total question mark.
Right.
I mean,
what is Arizona?
I think we can eliminate Seattle. I mean, I think we can do that just by virtue of their quarterback play. But the other three, you could convince me of anything right now as far as the way that's going to play out.
You could convince me. To me, one of the biggest disparities that in the entire league, you could convince me the Rams are the 1 seed in the NFC and that they're going to miss the playoffs. Yeah, you know what I mean, because they're so thin and they're so top heavy, and they were so fortunate last year, and they won the Super Bowl. There's always that hangover. I just think they could be the 1 seed. They could be 14-3, or they could be lose Stafford, and it's the Wofford show, and they're 8-9.
Well,
and
anybody could lose their quarterback, and then it goes sideways, obviously, unless you're the 49ers. But anyway,
right.
No, let me give you 3 NFC statements, and I'm just going to do this off the top of my head. 3 NFC statements, and you tell me if they even sound plausible, believable. If they were to happen at the end of the year, you're like, there's no chance, or yeah, I could see that.
Okay.
Here's number 1. The Eagles are the 1 seed.
Can't see that.
Can't see it.
Can't see it.
No chance.
No chance.
I mean, they're 4-0 already. They got 2 games against the Giants and 2 games against the Commanders.
Can't see it because I just think that town is so, you went
to the town. That's interesting.
Yeah, because the city of Philadelphia, when you have a good number 2 like Minshew, and you've got a smallish quarterback who potentially could get hurt, I just think that WIP implodes, and there's so much negativity that, somehow having Minshew and Hurts, and they'll debate it, and no.
Okay.
They won't be the 1 seed.
All right, so the Eagles, and again, I'm not saying...
I am intrigued by them.
These are not predictions. These are just like, if this happened, could you see it? Here's the next one. The Lions make the playoffs.
I could see that.
Okay?
I could see that.
Why?
Why? Because
Please expand.
Because they're better on the line of scrimmage. Hutchinson's big time.
They were on Hard Knocks.
But their defense is so freaking bad.
Jared Goff stinks, and Dan Campbell's a fraud. Can we keep it a buck?
Okay, but why is Dan Campbell's
not
a fraud?
Because
is he a fraud?
Dan Campbell is the most celebrated 8-20-1 coach of all time because he likes to bite kneecaps and he drinks coffee. Cool, man. I drink coffee and eat gelato too. Should I be a head coach? Is my team going to the playoffs?
You could have 1 ass cheek and 3 fingers. I'm still going to kick your ass. That's one of the great quotes of all time.
I'm going to
It's a strong quote.
I think the bite kneecaps thing actually worked against him. I don't think people like him because of the kneecap thing. I think people are starting to like him because of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, he's made his name on Hard Knocks.
I'm not holding a losing record against a guy who's in the process of building something.
Went 3-13-1 last year.
And Kyle Shanahan's got a losing record too.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
There's all kinds of context here.
And they have they've got a good organization in some spots now. I mean, I like Brad Holmes. I like John Dorsey. I like Deuce Staley. They've got some guys who can resurrect that thing.
Last one, 20 seconds or less. Jameis Winston goes to the Pro Bowl.
Well, I mean, that's possible. It's possible.
I mean, everybody goes to the Pro Bowl. But
I mean, now how many guys go to the Pro Bowl?
Jameis Winston plays like a Pro Bowler.
It's possible.
Okay.
It's possible.
It's all sponsored by Chilton Auto Body. Much more on that coming up next. Your comments on YouTube, your comments on Twitch, your text on the Comcast business text line, and your calls at 888-957-9570. Plus, it's too soon. You can't have this conversation yet. Can you? I'll tell you what we're talking about next on 95.7 The Game.
Have you been in a car accident? Chilton Auto Body has 15 convenient Bay Area locations to help restore your vehicle to pre-accident condition. Chilton Auto Body is also actively hiring for all positions. For more details, head to chiltonautobody.com. The Bay Area's leader in collision repair.
I know you want one of the new top-rated TVs.
And a low price.
We can get a top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony TV at a better deal than you found on the internet.
No way. Where?
At Video Only. This weekend, they've got special 3-day-only prices on all those top TVs.
Video Only can beat all these deals I've found?
That's right. This weekend, Video Only's got great deals on the best TVs. So let's check them out, or...
We'll be sorry.
The following is a commercial announcement.
Your local radio stations are here for you. No subscriptions or monthly fees necessary. We're here to give you the news, weather, and traffic you need, and the music you love. But if the foreign-owned record labels get their way, it could stop the music. They want Congress to force radio stations to pay them more money, simply to play their music. Don't let radio go silent. Text LOCAL to 52886 and tell Congress to protect local radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Odyssey knows that football fans can't get enough football. That's why we've got nonstop football coverage on the free Odyssey app. Podcasts and live shows dedicated to every pro team. NFL play-by-play and enough game talk for the most diehard fans. Local radio stations talking football, interviews with star players and coaches, and football fans being fans.
What kind of play calling was that?
Listen to everything you love about football, live and on demand with the free Odyssey app. Get in the game and download today.
Kick off your fall with Labor Day savings at Lowe's. Save $50 on a Lowe's exclusive Charbroil Performance Series 4-burner gas grill, just $2.99. Plus, get 3 1-cubic-foot bags of Stay Green garden soil for just $10. Stay Green provides time-released nutrients based on the amount of moisture in the soil, so plants get what they need when they need it. Shop Labor Day savings now at Lowe's. Offers valid through 9/7 while supplies last. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Okay, everyone gather around. I have some exciting...
Running her shoe factory, Kendra talks the talk and walks the walk.
We're switching to green energy.
She needs a biotech consultant to erase her carbon footprint.
All operations will net zero emissions.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
T-Mobile believes customers deserve to get more without paying more. Everything from entertainment benefits like Netflix on Us, to travel benefits, to Scam Shield protection, all with taxes and fees included. So the price you see is the price you pay. When you're a T-Mobile customer, you get over $225 in value every month in benefits with our Max Family Plan.
That's like paying for nosebleed seats and getting to sit in the front row.
That's right. At T-Mobile, your family gets over $225 worth of value and benefits with our Max Plan each and every month. Plus, with our Price Lock Guarantee, we won't raise your rate plan price for talk, text, and data ever.
That's like paying for a cab and getting a stretch limo.
At T-Mobile, you get value beyond the expected.
Qualifying service required. Value based on included monthly benefits. Sales tax and regulatory fees included in Max's monthly price. Price Lock guarantees rate price of talk, text, and data for new accounts with qualifying service. Exclusions apply. See details at T-Mobile.com.
Count on Lowe's for Labor Day savings. Get a Maytag top-load washer for just $568 and a top-load dryer only $548. That's a savings of $462 for the pair. Plus, get free delivery and special financing. Also, buy one, get one 50% off select HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Paint and Cabot Exterior Stains via rebate. Shop Labor Day savings now at Lowe's. See store at Lowe's.com for details and restrictions. Gas dryers available at additional costs. Exclusions apply while supplies last. Valid through 9/7.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. An oil change with quality oil like Castrol Edge Full Synthetic can help your engine get more out of every tank. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $37.99. Get what you need for better fuel efficiency at any of our 6,200 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Everyone knows how beneficial therapy can be, but traditional therapy can be overwhelming, confusing, and inconvenient. When scheduling in-person therapy, it can be difficult to find the right therapist near you, and it can take weeks to get on their calendar. We knew there had to be a better way. and that's where BetterHelp began. I'm Danny, co-founder of BetterHelp Online Therapy. When Alana and I started BetterHelp in 2013, our mission was simple. Find a way to make professional therapy accessible, affordable, and convenient for everyone. BetterHelp works around your schedule and lifestyle. You can connect to a therapist by phone, video call, or even text message. You don't even have to turn on your camera if you don't feel comfortable. And if your therapist isn't the right fit, you can switch anytime with a click of a button, because BetterHelp is designed with you in mind. See why over 2 million members have trusted BetterHelp for online therapy. Go to betterhelp.com/youfirst and get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/youfirst for 10% off your first month.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ-FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Now, back to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
I might do that with the AFC here in a second, too. Just come up with 3, plausible statements and see if you think that that's what they are.
We could do an hour on bold predictions in the NFL, and a lot of them would be laughed at, and
then a bunch of them will
come true.
Yeah. Or other ones. I mean, one thing I know is that there's a bunch of bold stuff that will be true at the end of the year. It's just figuring out what it is. We do this every year. It's kind of a funny sort of a thing where it's we look at last year's playoffs,
right,
and we just put those teams in the playoffs again, even though the data shows that literally never happens. It never happens. In our minds, the Rams, 49ers, and Cardinals are all going to the playoffs. I will promise you right now that doesn't happen. I'll promise it.
Yeah.
They're not, very highly, highly unlikely you're going to get a 3-team playoff division for a second year in a row.
Well, I know it's always about what we just recently saw. So I bet if people will probably say that, the Rams are going to the playoffs. The Cardinals, I'm not really sure. Why? If you'd asked that question at Thanksgiving last year, you would have gotten, the Cardinals, because they got, they go 7-0 to start or whatever it was?
Yeah, whatever it was. Yeah. So I just, I would love to hop into that. I love to sort of think about it because, quite frankly, just put it this way. If I'm throwing that statement out, it means that in some world I could see it. I could see the Eagles being really good this year. I can see the Lions grinding out 9-8. I could see Jameis Winston having a year and winning that division. That stuff would not surprise me. I'm not saying that I'm predicting it because there's so many twists and turns to an NFL season. Every one of these teams is about to go through a journey, a complete and total journey. Just go to last year, the 49ers. Think about how many, you ever see the movie Sliding Doors?
Yeah.
You ever see that movie? Think about how many sliding doors moments happen in a year. Think of the Jimmy Garoppolo story and how we always tag it. Well, he's made 2 of the last 3 NFC title games. In week 18, they were this close 4 times
to being going home,
to not making the playoffs.
Right.
But now we tag him with, he makes the NFC title game every other year. And I mean, it was a whisker. And actually a pretty great underrated performance by Jimmy in the fourth quarter of that game, from not being reality at all. Not even just being a team that went home. So every team goes through that every year. And that's why I think some of the teams that have a lot of success, you cruise, the Rams cruised. I think you're on it. The Rams are not going to cruise again this year. I don't know what their story is. There will be adversity. There will. There just is.
They only lost one of their top 4 guys. They combined to miss 1 game last year. Donald, Cup, and Stafford and Ramsey. Those guys played every single week. That's probably not going to happen again.
Yeah, it's the NFL. That's just not the way it goes, right? They did not have any back-breaking injuries.
Yeah.
They didn't. And I guess you could sort of make the case that the 49ers didn't. They had guys that had to play through injury. Jimmy, Trent Williams, George Kittle, all of them. But they didn't have that injury there are players, I don't want to name them out loud because I don't even want to put that in the universe, but on every team, there are a couple, 2, 3 players you can't lose. And if you lose them to a bad injury, man, your season's going a different way.
I got a buddy of mine who's not a Niner fan, and he knows that I'm doing the pregame for you guys, and he's like, 49ers are my under lock of the year. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, under lock of the year? And he's like,
I don't even know what that means.
Well,
I mean, I know what it means, but I've never heard that before.
That basically that they will go under the Vegas total.
Okay.
And
Got it.
And that they're the one team that he feels most confident of as far as the totals are concerned.
And the over-under is 9.5, or is it 10?
It's 9.5.
Okay.
But in some places it's 10. But I was saying, I can see why that is because of the, you don't know what Trey is. But, man, the 49ers have an awful lot of talent. On their roster.
Here's the surprising, I think, response
I think they're a 10-win team.
I do, too. And I think that it's not just that they have a roster and that the NFC doesn't have a ton of great teams. I would ask your friend, have you done a deep dive on the idiosyncrasies of the schedule? And I don't mean that because of the teams that are named on it. But I will continue to hammer this point because I think it's monstrous. After the bye, which comes halfway through the year, the 49ers leave the Pacific time zone one time, and it's to go to Mexico and play the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And it's early. It's like week 10 or 11 or whatever it is.
It's the most favorable travel schedule I've seen from the 49ers in decades.
And it's
over a
help.
decade.
Like, I think you're going to see that. It's the second half of the season when everyone's hurt and tired, and the 49ers' 2 road trips outside of that Mexico one are Seattle and Vegas, and Vegas is the final week.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they are parked at Levi's when the home stretch is coming. That has to help this team. That's got to be worth a win or two.
Yeah, no question. And being on the West Coast, you're used to ugly travel, the opposite. Oh, you're going to travel thousands of more miles than everybody else. But this year, because they've got the AFC West, their travel is very favorable.
Totally. So we'll get to those AFC questions. I have a Giants question that I really want to ask you, but let's hear from Adam in San Francisco first, one of our good callers. Hey, Adam, you're on with Willard and Krueger on 95.7 The Game. What are you doing, Adam?
Driving around in Fairfield, or driving over to Benicia from Fairfield right now.
Perfect. Be safe. What do you got?
Well, I was listening to you earlier, and I wanted to help you out with some a fan's perspective advice as to what you should do with your number 2 pick. I just had a question. How many people are in your league?
I should have mentioned that. Thank you for asking. It's a 12-team league. 12-team, half-point PPR, all buddies. I want to kick them all in the face. I've known them since we were kids, and so it's very important. And I've won 3 Super Bowls in the last, I think, 6 years. They hate me.
Look at that. Look at that.
But I have a target on my back. I'm a sports radio host, and I've got range.
And does the 10 or 12 matter when it comes to the second pick overall?
1,000%.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
It depends on what you get. Yeah, like what's available coming back. Adam, I want to hear what you have to say. Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing that, like, the number 2 pick, like in years past, it's like Derrick Henry or Christian McCaffrey is kind of a surefire bet to get that RB1 at number 2. However, you have injury concerns. It's like, Christian McCaffrey ruined my whole season last year, and I had the number 1 pick. But my suggestion would be to either take Austin Eckler or just the best available RB1 you can grab, because if you ever do draft, where you're going to pick. Do as many mock drafts as you can, unless that exhausts you.
Yeah. No, Adam, I will, even though, I told Adam Rank that whatever he said I was going to go with. But then Adam hedged his own pick.
Yeah, he did. He won Jefferson eventually.
I have Eckler in a different league. Sometimes that factors in because I'm like, if you put all your leagues in one guy and he gets hurt, then your whole season is ruined, and I don't want to do that. So I don't know.
Jefferson could be the MVP of the league.
Jefferson's an interesting. I don't hate that.
The only downside for Jefferson is the presence of Thielen.
That doesn't bother me at all. Doesn't bother me one bit.
Really?
No. Adam Thielen's been there his entire career, and he's been phenomenal. And Thielen's another year older. Like, I don't know. They've got plenty of weapons, but Jefferson is a freak.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's good.
And I know you like their offense. I like their offense. All right, we're going to circle back to that in just a second. Willard, Larry Krueger with you here on 95.7 The Game. And just a friendly reminder, it's all sponsored by Lucky California. Incredible food leads to unforgettable times. So Lucky California has the deals that pave the way to spectacular Labor Day weekend. Bone-in ribeye steaks, just $6.99 a pound in the Max Pack. Lucky California, the golden state of eating. And bringing up Labor Day, don't forget our Labor Day special lineup, right? The 49er Roundtable with Bonte and Damon and Hot Take Jake, who I'm told brought hot takes to the 49er Roundtable. You will hear that multiple times starting at 6 a.m. throughout the day, local, right here on 95.7 The Game. And right in the middle, in the thick of it, you and Lowe.
That's right.
Larry and Lowe.
That's right. We'll be breaking it down. In fact, talk to Lowe today after the show. We'll break it all down after the show. How we're going to do it.
Brand new episode of Garlic Fries and Baseball, guys, dropped this morning, as well as the Giants season turns toward looking at young guys and what are you going to do in what I think is the most important offseason in recent memory. But I do have this question, because I think that this is a little bit of a snappy response from a lot of people. In other words, it sort of lacks depth and thought. I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is, when things go bad for a team, it's a little bit too Pavlovian, if you will, to just scream, fire the coach. Like we do that. We got a bad season? Fire the coach. Fire everybody. There's got to be more context and nuance to this conversation. Gabe Kapler is the reigning manager of the year, and Farhan Zaidi was called a genius every day of the week just last year, 9, 10, 11 months ago. Now, do I think they fell in love with their press clippings? Yes. Yes, I do. But are we to have the conversation already about firing these guys? I'm hearing that, for my taste,
right,
way too much.
Okay. So I think most people would blame Farhan for this year over Gabe, and I think that's fair, because I think Gabe, even though I don't think Gabe's done a good job, I think Farhan impacted this thing more, and I think Farhan did a far worse job. Farhan didn't just, have a bad offseason. He set an expectation coming out of spring training that they were going to make big moves that they never made, and then doubled down at the trade deadline with, we have the wherewithal to acquire superstar caliber player at any position, and then acquired J.D. Davis and 3 minor league arms from the Mets. So,
by the way, you see what some of those minor league arms are doing?
Good things. Good things. Yeah. And I like the guy that I saw, Zappucki or whatever.
Zappucki actually
big left-handed breaking ball. I like that breaking ball.
I'm sort of wounded on Zappucki, because when he was on the Mets, I was at that game earlier this year where the Giants scored like 48 runs in the first inning off of him.
Right.
And they just left him out there to die. I'm like, I can't get that memory out of my head with Zappucki. I know no one wants to hear this right now, but prediction, the Darren Ruff trade, 2 years from now, maybe even 1 year from now, you're going to be like, holy hell.
That was a great trade.
What a trade.
Yeah.
Prediction, but anyway, proceed.
So Farhan, I think, is more to blame, because I think he did never really verbalize publicly any real vision for this team, and I don't really feel like he had a vision for this team, and I don't think he had a real plan for this team. And then he did the worst thing you could ever do as a GM, and that's the opposite of under-promise and over-deliver. Yep. He over-promised and under-delivered.
That's all agreed.
So Farhan I want to blame, but I think he should stay. Kapler, I think, deserves blame, and I think he should go. And here's why. Because I think Kapler, when you're a manager, your message has to be measured as, how is it resonating with the troops? How's it resonating in the clubhouse? How does are they listening to you, or are they sounding you out? And I think that he's gotten to a point where he's being sounded out. And I don't think I really believe that. I don't have sources. Nobody's saying, oh my God, we don't listen to him. But I know enough about the Giants of being one of their biggest fans for years and years, and watching as much as I watch and talking to the people I talk to. I think the culture he's established there is wrong. I think he's absolved the players of blame. I think he's sucked up to them publicly. I think he's lost the room. I don't think the same way Harbaugh lost the room at the end with the Niners. I think Gabe has lost the room with the Giants, and I don't think you get that back. So I would get rid of Gabe, but I would keep Farhan. And I know that's maybe not the answer you want to hear, but that's how I see it.
I don't want to hear any answer. I want to hear your authentic answer, and that's it. I don't agree. And by the way, I don't think that will happen. I don't think you do either. I don't think
either's going away.
Yeah, I don't think either of them is going away. And here's actually where I would.
But I do know the ownership's unhappy.
Oh, no doubt. No, there's zero doubt in my mind that there is disappointment within the organization with the job that just about everybody has done, including some of the players. Like, I do think sometimes that's another snap reaction we have, which is when things don't go well, we immediately want to go to whoever's constructing a roster. And there are a bunch of players this year who played great baseball last year, and they didn't play good baseball this year.
But who really underachieved this year that you didn't expect to take a backslide? Because all the veterans who had career years, I expected all of them to backslide, and they have. So I haven't really seen
this much. Not this much. Did you expect Brandon Crawford to backslide this much? Did you expect Mike Yastrzemski and Lamont Wade to backslide this much? And furthermore, it's not even who and what their numbers are. What really got me this year was the way they played. They did not play what felt like a smart brand of baseball. I like, we've had conversations with Hunter Pence where he's like, baseball, to win in baseball, there are very almost simple ways. If you've got some talent, and we can question that with the Giants, but hell, they did last year. If you've got some talent, if you make the plays you're supposed to make, catch the ball when it's hit to you, throw it to the right guy, run the bases with your mind open, Luis Gonzalez. What are you doing out there?
Right.
There are so many times this year where you've watched Giants baseball and you're like, this is Little League. What are you guys doing out there? And so does that reflect on Gabe? Sure. But it also reflects on professional grown men who get paid to play baseball. You guys are better than that. And so that's why.
But he's the leader, an optional BP, and
no doubt,
and not working. I was told by a couple people who know the team intimately that they haven't worked nearly as hard pregame as they worked a year ago.
Oh, I mean, again, I'm up for reevaluate everything you're doing because it did not work. But here's my thing about Gabe Kapler. That maybe is a little bit less just A or B, yes or no. I think Bruce Bochy is going to be the last Giants manager that you all ever love. Because I don't think the job matters all that much anymore. That's what I think. So Gabe Kapler can be the manager of the year, and he can get some credit, and he deserves that. And then he can manage like he did this year, and he can get some blame, and he deserves that. But there are very, very few companies that when they are not performing, we fly right into the middle and blame that guy. We're talking about blaming management. Understand that Gabe isn't that, even though that's his name.
So you're saying he's not really in control?
He's not. What manager is? Joe Madden is fishing right now and
he can't decide who to play and who not to play, who to pinch hit, not to pinch hit.
He's got a piece of this. He definitely has a piece of this. But if you all, and I think you do with what you just said, you're pointing this season more at Farhan, if you all believe that the Giants don't have great players, what the hell was Gabe supposed to do? And I felt this way a bunch of times when he made a pitching change. And you're like, well, he's going to that guy? Who do you want him to go to? There's no relievers. You can't have Duvall throw 4 innings. And even Duvall has been shaky sometimes. So what move is he supposed to make?
I just want to see different faces. I don't want to see Dom Leone and Tyler Rogers in high leverage situations when they're failing consistently.
Right, so who do you want to see?
I want to see R.J. Dabovich. I want to see Cole Waits throwing 100 miles an hour.
Which is not on Gabe. That's my point. That's not on Gabe.
I don't know who that's on, really.
He's not calling people up. Gabe's not watching Sacramento River Cats games.
But he has no say in that. He's got no ability to say, Farhan, hey, look, I can't keep running these same guys out there. Get me some new guys.
He's his voice in the room.
Yeah.
But
maybe he is saying that.
But he's not the voice in the room. So I guess my point is I think that Bruce Bochy's the last manager you're ever going to really love because he's the last manager in San Francisco that's really going to have sort of the cachet and the job that he had. Now, even he came on this show a few months ago and said, I kind of bristle at this idea. I get a bristle at this idea that I didn't use analytics. I used them all the time. So it's not like this idea of Bruce Bochy's gut was running the team at the level that we give him credit for. But I do think he was in charge. He had been here for a long time. He had rings. He had the clubhouse. He had Buster. They played the same position. There was just a cohesiveness there. And he had his relievers, and they had their role, and he knew exactly what was going on, and he was great at pushing buttons. I don't think that exists in baseball anymore. So this idea of loving a manager for his feel, you're never going to get that again. Not in this team or any other.
Do you think every manager in the big leagues is wed to analytics? Because that's what Gabe is. Gabe is wed to analytics.
Each organization is a little bit more or less on that, but yes, to a degree, all. Give me the manager in baseball. Give me any team. Hell, I don't even know if I could name more than 5, which is part of the point. Give me the manager in baseball where you're like, man, that's the dude. And he just like commands the stadium when he walks out of the dugout. Who?
Yeah, I mean, that is a difficult call. But I mean, I just think, okay, so like we've been watching the Giants every day. Is it smart to keep throwing Wade and Yaz at the top of the lineup? No.
I don't even know. Do we even know if he's doing the lineup? I don't think he is.
I mean,
he's certainly not doing it by himself.
This is
not
also
Lee Harvey Oswald. He did not act alone.
Yeah, but I mean, this is kind of the inherent problem. I think it's easy for the players to tune out the manager when the manager is clearly not the guy. When a manager's always thought of as being a middle manager type, but when you're truly a middle manager, when you have no control, that's when I think you start to, am I even, do this? Well, why should I even listen to you? Are you even the guy? I'd like to talk to the guy behind the curtain. Right. I'd like to talk to the actual guy instead of you. Yeah. Because you're obviously not the guy. Yeah. But I just don't believe in doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. I mean, I just feel like they do things to protect themselves. Tommy La Stella should have been DFA'd long ago. He's totally done. He's got nothing. But he's not going to be DFA'd because they've got another year on the contract.
And he's got a good eye.
Exactly. But Lamont Wade should not be hitting 1 or 2. He's hitting 170 or whatever.
I'm going to agree with you on all that.
And Yaz is... the idea that Farhan wants to bring Yaz back in 2023 after a 221 season last year, a 207 year this year, he's 34. He was a career minor leaguer. I mean, ultimately you could convince me for total regime change, but I agree with you that it's too knee-jerk for the total regime change, and I think I would stay with Farhan because I do, like you, see the depth starting to pile up in the farm system, and I see some good things happening there, and I think he has authored those good things through his lieutenants, but I think Gabe's lost the room, so I would definitely move on from Gabe.
All right, some AFC questions, believable or not, and might even throw some new NFC ones in there as well. We'll do that coming up next. Wide open for your phone calls. Is that where your head is at? Are you all ready to, like the reigning manager of the year, you're ready to move on already? Take your calls on that. 888-957-9570. Keep the Comcast Business text line, the YouTube and Twitch feed rolling. Thank you for being with us with Larry Krueger, Mark Willard, 95.7 The Game.
Everything, our farm, our stand, our pop-up shop, it really all started when we discovered the benefits of local, raw honey for our family.
And then we decided to turn it into a business.
We were looking for something to help us get up and running.
So we got the Chase Business Complete Banking Account.
It's more than a bank account. It comes with Quick Accept, which lets us take card payments anytime, anywhere in the U.S. using the Chase mobile app. Plus, we get same-day deposits at no extra cost. For us, it's more than honey. It's about sharing a little sweetness with the world.
Get the Chase Business Complete Banking Account with the essentials you need to help get your business going. Learn more at chase.com/business-complete-banking. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Quick Accept is not available in U.S. territories. Enrollment required. Usage subject to approval. Same-day deposits available for payments before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday to Friday. Fees and rates apply for checking and processing. Limitations and restrictions apply. Participants compensated. Merchant services provided by Payment Tech LLC and WePay Inc. Subsidiaries of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box. All for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New Gigabit Extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes wireless usage. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible Xfinity gateway.
I know you want one of the new top-rated TVs.
And a low price.
We can get a top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony TV at a better deal than you found on the internet.
No way. Where?
At Video Only. This weekend, they've got special 3-day-only prices on all those top TVs.
Video Only can beat all these deals I've found?
That's right. This weekend, Video Only's got great deals on the best TVs. So let's check them out, or...
We'll be sorry.
At Left Coast Buyers, we buy properties all over California. If you own a house or an apartment building and want to sell it fast at a great price, call us at 925-434-5000. We can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. We buy properties in any condition, any price range. Do you own a property that is run down and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Are you out of time, money, and energy? Are you looking for an easy way to get top dollar for your property and sell on your terms and timeline? Well, call Left Coast Buyers now at 925-434-5000. We buy divorce houses, inherited houses. We even buy vacant houses and abandoned houses. Do you have a tenant who hasn't paid? Are you behind on property taxes, mortgage payments, or even facing a foreclosure? Even if you're just nervous about capital gains or an upcoming recession, we've seen it all. So if you or someone you know owns a property and needs to sell, call Left Coast Buyers at 925-434-5000. That's 925-434-5000.
Hi, I'm Aaron, owner of California Deluxe Windows. Ever notice? When your neighbors get new windows, there is a large black eye of broken stucco, uneven plaster, and even mismatched paint. At California Deluxe Windows, we never leave a ring around the window. Why? Because we are one of the only companies in California who custom crafts every window and door to your home's exact measurements. Almost everyone else on the radio is a distributor. They grab a window from a warehouse, break open your walls, shove it in, and patch things up. At California Deluxe Windows, we take pride in our work. Our installation technique is so precise, we do not break your stucco. Your house could be covered with potato chips, and we wouldn't crack one.
Call now, and for a limited time, you get 30% off your entire order and 24 months of interest-free financing. 800-874-3600. 800-874-3600. That's 800-874-3600. California Deluxe Windows. Windows engineered for life.
Certain terms and conditions apply. CSLB number 774518.
This football season, adopt a new tradition that's sure to turn fans into family. The Jim Beam Highball. That's beam and soda over ice with a lemon slice. Share one at the stadium or make one at home. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Copyright 2022, James B. Beam Distilling Company, Claremont, Kentucky. Drink smart.
Nachos! Yeah, your nachos!
Hey, I'll take some.
Great. And some Frank's Red Hot.
Oh, nah, I'm good.
Oh, you're just gonna eat these dry, plain, boring nachos with no Franks? Seriously? Frank it up. Frank it up. Come on, lady. Frank it up. Frank it up. Frank it up. Yeah! Yeah, this guy finally gets it. Hey, look, we're on the Jumbotron.
It's the perfect blend of flavor and heat. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $69.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
Now, back to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
Hey, before I throw some AFC questions at you, and it's Willard and Krueger, 95.7 The Game, what are you doing? Check this out. So, in April, this is funny, you should see these pictures. Front Office Sports just sent this out a little bit ago. In April, Russell Wilson and Ciara bought a $25 million Colorado mansion. Most expensive single-family home sold in Denver area history.
Well, what's the square footage on that thing? It's got to be like 10,000 or something.
Keep going.
15?
Keep going.
Bigger than 15,000 square feet?
Keep going, Larry Krueger.
Oh, my God. 22,000 square feet.
Okay, 20,000.
20,000
square feet.
It's a hotel.
Here's what's wild. Are you ready for 20,000 square feet?
19 bathrooms or something?
4-bedroom.
4-bedroom? What the hell is that?
How many bedrooms you got in your house?
4.
Exactly. You get 20,000 square feet for $25 million, and there's only 4 bedrooms.
That means he's got like all the big things. He's got a basketball court.
He's got a basketball court.
He's got a bowling alley.
He's got a game room.
Probably a bowling
There's
alley.
a theater.
Yeah, theater for sure.
Indoor pool. Ready for this? A 9-car garage.
Sounds like Hearst Castle.
Turn that thing into a 6-car garage and get another bedroom. Am I right? Get a guest room.
Either that or the bedrooms are like 4,000 square feet apiece.
I know. Some big bedrooms.
Huge bedrooms.
You're texting each other from inside the room. You're like, where are I can't see you.
I know. Now, technically, every room in a house that doesn't have a closet
is not a bedroom. That's real estate talk. That's right.
So,
That's right.
I mean, that just means there's not enough closets.
The game room doesn't. But how does a game room not have a closet? Where do you put the games? I mean, come on. But anyway, yeah, that's what he's got. $25 million. Man, you should see the pictures of this thing.
Does it look cool?
Holy
where in Colorado? Is it? It's suburban Denver?
Denver area. Yeah, I'm sure Russell and Ciara did not want their address put out on social media. But
see, that's where you go. That's where you go down.
Compound.
That's where you start losing cash because just to put the AC on or just to heat that thing. You're talking about,
Well, and when you
$25,000 a month.
And so when he retires,
ridiculous.
Just a guess, Russ and Ciara don't want to retire in Denver. And honestly, who cares? Like, what was the deal he just signed? $250 million or whatever.
Right.
Like, who cares
He'll
about
be
money?
fine.
And so will she. So I would guess that they're going to retire in Seattle, New York, LA, wherever it may be. So if you put this thing on the market. I mean, there's only like 12 people on the planet who are even in your potentials in terms of who's going to come buy this thing.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to come buy are you making money on this? It was $25 million. Are you getting 30 for it in 6 years when you retire?
Most likely not. Parties at Russ's.
Seriously.
What's the biggest house that what's the biggest house you've ever lived in? And what's the biggest house you would ever buy?
Don't ask me. Are you kidding me? First of all,
you live in Marin, right?
Well, I've only owned real estate twice in my life,
right?
And one time it was just me. It was a one-bedroom. It was a one-bedroom place. It was a condo.
What's the biggest house you could ever picture yourself buying? I would cut it off at about 4,000 square feet.
I don't think I've ever lived in anything more than 1,800 square feet.
Yeah.
There
are people that need lots of space.
I think the house I grew up in, maybe 18 to 2,000, maybe. And by the way, real quick, not to go completely off the map, I've heard this once third kid, whatnot, like you start thinking about it. I've never had the resource to be like, sure, let's go do $3 million house in California. But people who do have that resource and like, we're remodeling and we're going 6 bedrooms and 3 stories. And they've all told me like, it's not great for the kids.
To be that far apart?
You don't see each other. It's like...
I'm in the Eastern Corridor.
Right. Like you
got walkie-talkies.
I'm always like, yeah, I want you right there.
You want the log cabin feel.
I just like, I don't need to be all up in your business. You can close your door. But like, I want you to be right there on the other side of the door. I don't need to be texting you when it's dinner time.
Right.
I don't need that. I just want to be like, dinner. And that's it.
Wait till your kids get a little older. And you have to have rules about, like when they have girlfriend or boyfriend open, the door stays open.
Yeah.
There'll be none of this.
Really weird because I'm going to be like right outside it.
Yeah, exactly.
Door stays open, and I'm sitting here staring in too.
Dad, why'd you take my door off?
I don't know. There's nowhere else to go. I can either be in the room or I can be right outside the room. That's all we got.
Yeah.
So funny. But anyway, I saw that and I was like, wow, the pictures of this thing are stunning.
I would love to have. There's a couple things I would love to have. that I don't have in my house now. I'd love to have my own batting cage.
Will Clark?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I'd like to be able to hit. I'd like to be able to hit whenever I want to hit. I want the balls just keep feeding to me.
I'd like the Giants to be able to hit, but anyway,
exactly.
we all have wants.
And then I'd like a full court basketball. I'd like to be able to get a little run in, with some buddies.
With buddies? Oh, that sounds like
or
an
maybe
injury.
full court, or maybe just have the kids over, play a little full court.
I'd love to have a full
court. It doesn't have to be an NBA size court.
No, but it's one person at a time. Once you turn 40, if you're playing basketball with other people,
it's Achilles.
You better have an ortho on speed dial. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't take much. Okay, let me.
I also want a steam room. I want a steam room.
Now you're just getting bougie.
I want a steam room.
Just relax.
Not a sauna, not the dry heat.
My gosh.
I want the steam room.
Look at you. All right, let me throw 5.
Yes.
I just jotted down 5 what would be called hot takes or bold predictions.
Bold predictions.
They're not predictions. I just was like, let me throw out things to see if you think this is in any way believable.
Right.
Because there will be surprises in this NFL season.
You just got to remember this. You got to think outside the box with these, and you got to think: is it plausible at all?
Is it possible? Because yes, they're going to, like when I read these, by definition, these would surprise you. But surprises are going to happen.
Yeah.
All right. So just because we were just talking about Russ, here's the first one. The Broncos stink.
I would say no, because I think there's too many. I like their weapons. I like Judy, and I like Alberto, that tight end with the long name I can't pronounce.
Yeah.
And I like Javonte Williams, who we mentioned before, and I like Dulcich, the rookie tight end from UCLA, and I like I think don't they have Noah Fant? Or no, they traded Noah Fant.
No, Fant's in Seattle. Yeah, he was in the Russ
But they have
trade.
other guys at receiver. They have Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, Jerry Jeudy. Sure.
They're pretty deep at the weaponry, and now they haven't had the quarterback. They've got Surtain on the back end. So I like Denver. So
okay.
But I've heard people think that Russ is not going to have success there. So that one was.
Remember what the division.
Also a tough division.
Remember what the division looks like. So speaking of that division,
Yeah.
all right, here's my next one. The Raiders win it.
No chance.
No chance?
No chance.
Why?
Because the two most important areas outside of quarterback are your offensive line and your secondary, and they're a circus.
Okay.
I mean,
that's a fair answer.
Yeah, I don't like their offensive line. I mean, I think their run game. I like both their backs. I like Zamir White. I like Jacobs, but I think they're going to get stonewalled in the hole because they have no O line, and their secondary is kind of a mess.
All right, what about this one? The Colts are the 1 or the 2 seed.
That I can believe. Now, I really like Chris Ballard, and I really like Frank Reich, and now you got Matt Ryan there, and you got the best rusher.
You've always had a really good roster outside
Great
of that.
lineman, Quentin Nelson.
Right? Upcoming receiver in Pittman, a defense that's always been plausible, and
I like them.
Look at it this way.
I was shocked they didn't make the playoffs last year.
Yeah, this is also mathematics. So if the AFC West all going to beat each other up, and I give you the Bills, because I remember I said Colts are the 1 or the 2 seed. If I give you the Bills, no one else in the East is terrifying you. And the AFC North is an odd division this year.
Very even. They're going to beat each other up.
Even. You got Cincinnati, who we remember as being better than they were because of their postseason run.
Right.
But they were 10-7 team last year. You got questions like Lamar's going into a lame duck. They might franchise tag him. Pittsburgh quarterback transition. Cleveland's got the Deshaun situation.
No, the big quarterback situation is Baltimore because Lamar's got no deal, and he may not have a deal. That could get ugly.
So if the Colts win that division, and they've got games against Houston and Jacksonville and Tennessee, I don't even know about them this year. Is it?
They could pile up a big win total.
Could they go 12-5?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that one.
Speaking of the division, all right, here's the next one. The Jags win 8 games.
No,
I
don't think Jags.
They pour a lot into that roster.
Yeah, no.
They pour a lot of money this offseason into that roster, and I hear people like the way Trevor Lawrence looks.
I don't believe in the Jags.
Again, weak division.
I know. And
all I'm asking for is 8. Could you go 8 and 9?
I mean, it's possible, but I would still say under.
All right.
I think, and maybe under by multiple games.
Last one. Steelers win the division.
I think it's definitely possible. Definitely possible. I think Pickett's a very seasoned quarterback. So
for a rookie.
I
mean, he's not a seasoned quarterback. He's a rookie.
Yeah, for a rookie, but I'm just saying he doesn't come into the NFL like, I don't know how to play the position. He's played a lot of football.
All right, we got some calls to get to. We will. Stay right there. 888-957-9570. Keep it coming on the Comcast Business text line. It's all sponsored by Innova International. Willard and Larry on 95.7 The Game.
Brought to you by On Deck Small Business Loans.
When you own a small business, sometimes you need funds fast. So go to OnDeck.com, America's largest online small business lender. OnDeck makes it easy to apply in minutes. Apply for your loan today at OnDeck.com.
Kirby is your driveway mechanic. They bring the shop to you with brake and tire replacements, oil changes, and much more. It's the ultimate convenience. Easy booking, transparent pricing, on-time arrivals, and service right in your driveway. No waiting rooms, and direct access to your mechanic with friendly and reliable service. No middleman or upsells. They're so sure you'll love the convenience. Take $50 off your first oil change with code OIL50 at Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com and use code OIL50. Kirby, your driveway mechanic.
Are you looking for a rewarding new career? Join the United States Postal Service and apply for roles nationwide. Serve your community with pride and receive benefits including competitive pay and opportunities for advancement. Whether you are looking for full-time, part-time, or seasonal positions, we have options that may be perfect for you. The United States Postal Service is an equal opportunity employer. Apply now at USPS.com/careers.
The Labor Day event from Dell Technologies is here. End the summer strong by starting up a new season of productivity. Your business upgrade begins with up to 48% off top-rated laptops, like Vostro, taking performance to the next level with 12th Gen Intel Core processors. It's time to push your growing business even further. What's next for you? Upgrade today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Venture X from Capital One is the travel card for people always asking,
where next?
You earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, and 2x miles on everything else you buy with Venture X. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
I know you want one of the new top-rated TVs.
And a low price.
We can get a top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony TV at a better deal than you found on the internet.
No way. Where?
At Video Only. This weekend, they've got special 3-day-only prices on all those top TVs.
Video Only can beat all these deals I've found?
That's right. This weekend, Video Only's got great deals on the best TVs. So let's check them out, or
we'll be sorry.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
It's time to turn up your summertime fun with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, real brewed tea with 5% alcohol. So whether you're camping, fishing, or at the beach with friends, don't forget to fill your cooler with those bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
It's the calm before the heat. Stanford high is 79 today.
Weather brought to you by the Odyssey app.
Get your favorites on the free Odyssey app. Listen to local and national news stations, plus your music, sports, and podcasts for free wherever you are on the Odyssey app.
The Stadium Tour is rocking the Bay Area. September 7th at Oracle Park, featuring Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Poison, and Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. For more info and tickets, visit livenation.com.
Now, back to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
Another friendly reminder that Labor Day is going to be a fun one around these parts because we're live and local from 10 to 4.
Yep.
Larry and Lowe, 10 to 1. And then Whitey and Styles, 1 to 4. And then surrounding all of that is going to be the 49er Roundtable with Bonte and Damon. And then the big star, Kyle Madsen. Everybody with all of his hot 49er knowledge. That's going to be from 6 to 10. And then if you miss any of that, you can hear it again from 4 to 6 later on in the afternoon as we start to get you ready for week 1 in the NFL season. And I always love week 1, except for then it's week 8, 2 seconds later.
I know.
It's just unbelievable, isn't it?
It is crazy.
It's so wild. It goes
What is
so fast.
What's your favorite thing to do on an NFL Sunday? Will you
not get dressed?
In my opinion, I've gotten to a point now where I would rather watch the red zone than the out of town game.
Oh, for sure. It's the 49er game is the only thing that takes us off red zone. And I hate to say this is the parenting battle that I have. When the 49er game comes on and red zone channel has to go off, I have to battle with my boys to keep them in the room. They're like, we're going to go watch red zone on the other TV.
Seriously,
that's how
the red
is.
zone's so popular in my house. My 13-year-old will be like, Dad, it's the witching hour.
The witching hour. And if you don't watch red zone, you don't even know what that is.
Exactly.
But that's like when losses become wins, and wins become losses.
It's the witching hour.
It's the witching hour. They do that little dance. When it's leading up to 10 a.m.
Right.
And it hasn't started yet, and there's that music, and they dance, and then what is it? How many hours of commercial-free football? I mean...
And they finish with all the touchdowns of the day?
It is.
How about that?
It is habitual, man. It is in their blood. No question about it. So, anyway, be with us Labor Day, and then throughout the week, you and I are going to be together again on Tuesday as we start counting it down and the opener on Thursday with the Rams and the Bills, and then Trey Lance's first year as the QB1 against Chicago next Sunday, and I know you'll be handling all of the pregame duties for that.
Looking forward to that, yeah. Game day from the Hilton.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, I also want to say this to Raiders fans because you did not believe the idea that the Raiders would win the division, and therefore you did get a few text messages.
Right.
Just this one as an example, and it's shockingly a 510 number. Here it comes. Krueger, misspelled, you are a clown. Raiders have a better O-line than the Niners, and you are saying the Niners will win 10-plus games. I just want to say this. I don't even care if your point is right, and I don't care if your point, Larry, was right. Raiders fans, if you're a fan of the Raiders, do you understand that you treat your team the same way the rest of us treat our moms? Which is, in other words, I can talk about my mom. You can't talk about my mom. I can tell you all the things that frustrate me about my mom. Right? And I love my mom, but everybody's mom, like, oh, Mom, really? Like, do I have to bring a jacket? Like,
it's time to go.
Do not talk about my mom. And Raiders fans, I hear you all the time. Oh, Derek Carr stinks. Derek Carr. If you go, yeah, Derek Carr stinks, they'll be like, you shut up. You don't tell me Derek Carr stinks. I said Derek Carr stinks. Right. You're crazy. You're all crazy about this. They're not your kid. They're your football team. It's weird.
I know.
You're all weird. I love you.
Is there any, what's the team that you would, if you had to, if I said, Mark, you have to paint your face. You have to paint your face. Is it for Cal Poly? You looked good last night, by the way.
I didn't know that they played.
Yeah. Is it okay? Niners, Warriors, Giants. I mean,
that's always so tough.
I mean, I'm just not a face paint guy.
No, neither am I. Gosh, that's hard.
You had to face paint.
So prior to 2010, I would have answered that as Giants. And the reason, though, there was a specific reason for it. I grew up when they were terrible. I grew up while the 49ers won the Super Bowl every other year. So that desire to see them win, I mean, I had 5 49er championships before I could get a drink. Okay?
Right.
So there was no, just that need
to
feel it.
The hunger wasn't there.
No, because it was there all the time. The Giants, terrible. They finally make the World Series, and the world starts shaking, and we all have to go home. And then in 2002, I got a credential around my neck, and the Giants are 5 outs away, and that falls apart. And so
that was painful.
The desire to see them do it was so intense that's what it was. That's what it was. And then they won 3 in 5 years. And I sort of
in the most unlikely of ways,
and
really.
And as soon as that's happening, the Warriors start doing it too, and get who is now the most epic athlete in the history of our market, who's still here. And I just feel I don't know, Larry, I'm just so content.
Exactly.
So now it's kind of circling back to the Niners, because low key, it's been 30 years.
I know.
30 years.
How about that? You're 25 years old. You've never seen the Niners win the Super Bowl.
And I have kids, and they've never seen it.
Yeah.
They've got Warrior rings. They got Giants rings. They're drunk with all of their success. They've never seen the 49ers do it.
I'm 32. I have zero recollection of January 1995.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you ended up turning it into a job. There it is. There it is.
It was a great team, man.
So, yeah.
It's
circling back to the Niners now. That's the best way I can answer it.
Yeah.
Because all 3
I would say Giants, but
I've had equal love for all 3 all the way through.
Yeah.
Giants,
the Giants you've had to endure. To me, even with the championships, that just seems like it's just something about Giants baseball. You have to endure it.
Well, right. Even when it was going well, we called it torture.
Right.
That's baseball.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, yeah, absolutely. Let's get some calls before Steiny. And who is it? Is it JD? Is Goo back?
Yeah, he's back there.
Oh, Steiny and Goo. Look at that. Bobby in Los Altos. Jump on here with Mark and Larry. What are you doing, Bobby?
Hey, thanks for taking my call so late. I guess short-time listener, first-time caller to this new program, so I appreciate listening to the two of you.
Right on.
I want to say this. I don't know if you guys knew, but I guess Jimmy Garoppolo is staying with the Niners. So
what?
I just wanted to have my take on that because I don't think it's been discussed enough. Really, I want to focus on Trey Lance more than Jimmy Garoppolo. I think the thing that I don't know. I don't know if it gets talked about a lot, but to me, Justin Herbert. I think we saw his first game because it was nationally televised when that doctor punctured Tyrod Taylor's lung, whatever it was.
Oh.
It didn't take 5 minutes. It didn't take 5 minutes of. I don't even know if it was 5 minutes of real time or game time for me to know Justin Herbert is going to be a star. I don't know. I don't think I saw my Burrow's first game, but first time I saw him, it didn't take more than 10 minutes to know he was going to be a star. I've seen enough of Trey Lance to know he is not a superstar. He may well become a top 5 quarterback at some point, and he may mature into a great quarterback. But the stars, immediately. Mahomes, like I said, Herbert and Burrow, you just knew within 5 minutes. So I don't understand what the anger is about them getting Garoppolo. They know he is not an immediate superstar. He's more of a project.
Okay, so Bobby, this is a great call because you're speaking my language. Now, you're going a little bit too far for my taste because I don't think we can eliminate any label from Trey Lance yet. I don't think we can eliminate anything.
2 starts in,
I can give you a bunch of quarterbacks who have become, the greatest of all time sort of like limped his way into a starting job and then rode a defense to a Super Bowl championship and then became the GOAT. His name's Tom Brady. So there's plenty of time for Trey to grow into whoever he's going to become. But Bobby's point is part of my point. I do believe the 49ers today wish they were a little bit more sure. They wish that it looked a little bit more solidified than it does. It doesn't mean it won't get there, but he's right. You saw Herbert, and it was like 2 plays in, and you're like, oh my gosh, the Chargers found something. Burrow did kind of feel that way. And then other guys can be good, like Jalen Hurts might end up having a really good year, but when you first saw him, you're like, I don't know where that's going.
It's like Alex Smith.
Right. So
Alex Smith
Trey might be fine, but we don't know yet, and that does say something. Because some of the guys, you do. Mahomes, right away.
Yeah. No,
right
Mahomes had the skill set. All I'll say about Trey is that I feel like I know he's going to be good eventually, but that eventually is, and then why do I say that? Because I think physically, mentally, and desire-wise, he's got the 3 things that you need. But it doesn't mean it's going to be this year. Doesn't even mean it's going to be next year. Alex Smith was a number 1 pick in 2005. Great prospect on paper. He was a Pro Bowler 3 times over, but he didn't make the Pro Bowl for the first time until 2013. It was 8 years in. So I think they got the right guy eventually. But it doesn't mean it's going to be this year. Well, and they need to get it going this year. They know it.
And Alex Smith had what would be considered a very good career. He made a ton of money. We know where the story went with his legs and all of that. He made the playoffs a whole lot with the Chiefs. And so you'd say a very, very good career, but he was drafted number 1 overall. Like that always shapes.
Over Aaron Rodgers.
Right. That always shapes how we feel about a guy. If Alex Smith had been drafted in the 2nd round, you had a parade for the guy.
Yeah.
You had a parade for his career. So that's a part of it, and Trey's going to have to deal with that. Trey's always going to be the number 3 pick, and you traded up 3 first rounds of assets to do it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a thing for him, no doubt.
A lot of quarterbacks are born, but some are made, and Alex Smith was kind of more of a made quarterback, and I think Trey is in that category.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ-FM in HD1, San Francisco, always live on the Odyssey app, and that brings us to Steiny and Goo time. And looky, everybody's here. Hi, guys.
Yeah.
How we doing?
I'm smiling because last time I seen you and Larry.
You were in pain.
No, seriously, man. My nerve was dying in my mouth. I had a root canal.
It's the worst.
It is. So you had one. Steiny hadn't had one.
Oh, yeah.
He hadn't had one.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Because we got so much to do.
Yeah.
I've never had one. What percentage of people have had root canal? I had under 50%. He has over.
My friend.
Well, I would say it's way under.
But then he
I've
said,
never had one.
He said within the black community, the percentage is higher.
My thing was going off like, oh, but you got to, like,
see,
it was
that's
a lot.
Interesting, because I have what the dentists always told me, even as a kid. They're like, and I don't even know what this means, but they're like, you have really hard teeth. They're very, very, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's everything, in my head. I have a very hard head. So, no, but I never had cavities. I never had issues with cavities. But yeah, somewhere along the line, I think I was on the other side of 30 already. I had one of those nights where that toothache.
Dude, go ahead, Mark.
And you had.
Tooth pain is awful.
It's the worst.
I had gum pain, but it's twice as hard as the tooth
face pain.
I had all of it. It was go ahead, Willard.
I had one of these nights. And I had to call my cousin at his home because he's a dentist, and he had to over the phone get some pain meds because it was like one of these things where everybody gets cold sensitivity one time.
Yes.
So this went the opposite way, where the only thing that would make it stop hurting was intense cold. So I'm mouth washing with ice water. You had approximately 45 seconds, and I would be like, wash mouth, make it stop hurting, and try to fall asleep. You got about a minute. And if you don't fall asleep in a minute, unbelievable throbbing pain again. And I did that all night
So
until about 4 in the
man.
morning, and then we got it taken care of the next day. It's
Krueger,
brutal, bro.
I told Stoney and I told Ratto this. No matter, you could set me on the corner of Battery Street and I'll just watch cars go by. But the fact I don't have that pain in my mouth,
You're
it's
so happy.
incredible. In the last 2 days of the family vacation in Vegas, true story, I could not sleep because the pain was overbearing. And I've been in a near fatal car accident and absorbed a bunch of stuff. This was the worst.
Brother, I feel you.
Incredible
What
pain.
did you do for it? You take
Oragel, warm hearts, and
Anything.
salt water, and that didn't work.
Anything.
It just talked to me. And then Saturday, I was coming from Walnut Creek, Stoney. I didn't tell you this, and I think I cried. It comes
yeah.
at the most inopportune time, and I had to pull over. Like, what is happening to me? And ask me how I cracked the tooth, because that's how it started.
Oh, that's how it started.
This is welcome
how'd you
to
crack the
50.
tooth?
Oh, so you had an exposed nerve is what you had.
Sneezing.
Probably.
I sneezed in traffic and I felt something, but didn't think it was a big deal. But that's when I cracked my tooth. Dennis said, "Oh, it's not a big crack. You're good." But that's the air was getting in, and the whole nerve started to rot away.
Who was the guy who got hurt when he sneezed? He hurt his back.
Oh, no, that happens all the time. Yeah. Someone's in the shower and they sneeze, they go down. And like, they
Missed the
miss 5
game.
weeks. Oh, yeah.
I feel like we're bonded. That's some pain.
I've been there.
I was telling Mark this morning, I pulled a calf muscle in bed.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. I mean, I was like, grab my foot, grab my foot.
Not because it was a tuck sheet, right?
No.
Just who knows? You could have avoided that with a no tuck with the sheets. That Seinfeld was.
I do. Yeah, the tight tuck of the bed.
No,
I'm out. Yeah.
Anybody else sleep with like half a leg always out from under the covers?
That's me. I'll do that.
No,
I'll do that.
That's based on temperature.
That's also, that's also a lot, struggling with commitment, I think. Also.
No doubt. And if you turn over, then you've got to put the other leg out.
If you start sleeping with someone and you see that they're one leg in, one leg out, you're like, we better this person's got
Did you
commitment
get your other
issues.
leg in here?
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
That's
My
for
God,
sure.
no,
It's
like
incredible.
That, it is.
I cannot have a bad day ever again in my life, and I mean that.
I know
Have
what
you ever had
mean,
sciatica pain, though?
No.
Parents have.
You know what?
And had surgery.
I'm not sure.
That was freaking awful.
I'm not sure. It's like that
Leads
comes
to
to your
neuropathy,
back
too.
and kind of.
Yeah.
So we were selling our house, and
sounds
the
so
the
old right
realtor
now,
came
though.
I was just
over.
thinking the same thing.
I had
This
two little
conversation.
kids. I had
Sponsored by Ben Gay.
I had two babies, right? And the realtor calls, "Oh, we got somebody to come look at the house." This is years and years ago. And I'm like, "Great." So I walk out, and every freaking toy that we owned was everywhere, right? And people are going to come. So I'm picking stuff up as fast as I can. All of a sudden, I'm like, "Oh my God, man! I've just had the worst pain shooting up from my heel." And it was awful.
Man.
I did radio shows where I'm bent halfway over. I mean, it was you could not get.
They say it's real.
Goo, I'll tell you where I just felt you the most, though, is when you just said, like, right now you could sit out on a street corner and watch cars go by and be happy.
No, for real.
So I get migraine headaches.
Ooh.
And I've often said this to people. If I could bottle up the feeling you get when the migraine goes away, I could sell it for $1 million.
I'd buy it.
It is the most euphoric feeling in the history of life. When the migraine goes away, I'm like, I could run 20 miles right now. I could run through a wall right now. Do you want me to cook 8 meals for the rest of the week right now? I'm like, gosh, I wish we could just bottle that up.
We take it for granted, man.
Everybody gets them different, too. Like, when I get a migraine, it's like I can't read. Like, I can't.
You got to turn the lights out?
Well, no, I can't look at the words. I can see everything but what I'm looking at, kind of a thing. It's just, it's awful.
All right, so now that we're all done,
Let's try to address the younger crowd.
Dr. Dina Dale, line one.
Oh, you can't even say that. The kids won't know what you mean.
Dr. Dina
Susan Steinerman, or what was her name?
That's an old reference.
Larry.
That's an old reference. We don't know.
We heard, I got to do this for Steiny. When he was out, they were doing the impersonations of Bochy. I tuned in for a little bit, but the impersonation here at this station is now owned by you with your Dr. Phil. Can you give Steiny and the listeners just a little Dr. Phil before we do our show on this Good Payday Friday?
Okay, so I met Dr. Phil, right? So I was sitting there. I met Dr. Phil, And then all of a sudden, I walked. He did some show on people who were fat and couldn't lose weight. So he was like, but it was killing me how he was talking down to people. He's like, "You're a disgusting fat pig.
That's a force.
You gotta back away from the table.
That's a four.
It's not about what you're eating. It's about where you're sitting.
Oh my
God, he's got it.
You gotta back away from the table. You're disgusting fat pig."
Dude, I said,
why can he say that? Why can he say that to people? Nobody can say that.
Look at him. By the way, this has hit me a certain way too, because I just last week watched the Manti Te'o doc. Have you watched the Manti Te'o?
I watched it.
Really
Dr. Phil is in the Manti Te'o doc.
I gotta watch it.
You gotta watch
right.
it. Doctor's in there. Yeah, he's in there talking about the
that's
Naya or whatever, the crazy person who launched this whole thing. He had Naya on the show and psychoanalyzed this person. And now you're hitting me because I was just watching this last weekend. You nailed that.
What'd you think of that?
The doc?
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's
pretty good.
And
a lot of stuff. So still a little complicated, but much more clear
still
now.
Complicated. Like the only thing you'll come out of it, the only criticism, if that's the right word, the only question you would have for Manti, like the number one thing you feel is sympathy. And I also felt really bad just kind of being in sports radio, which I'll address in just a second. But you definitely could still walk away and go, okay, my guy, how did we get through a 1.5 year relationship with a person you've never actually met? That's a question. And so whatever's going on psychologically there that leads someone down that road is kind of a separate issue. However, he was a complete victim. And what really struck me about our society is that, because I was on sports radio when this all went down, and I
laughed at him.
Well, I didn't say anything back then or anything that I regret. But what struck me was, even in that job, how much I learned from watching the doc, which meant to me that when it was all going down and it was a hot topic, we were all there to laugh and ask questions.
We didn't give a damn, though.
Wow.
And then when the truth came out, we were already gone.
That's what we do, though.
Yeah. We were already gone, and we were never there for that, and I felt terrible about that. Like I got a lesson out of that. I'm like, we should know this, because we knew that. How come I don't know this story
That's what we
already?
do, man.
Yeah.
I seem to remember, and maybe you guys might say, well, no kidding. Like people thought he created this woman on purpose.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He did not.
Right.
And that's why social media was apologizing to him.
He was a complete victim.
Wow.
A complete and total victim. And the Naya, whoever this person was,
they need to be, how are no criminal charges on that person?
Wow. Sociopath.
Man.
I mean, sociopath.
Had the people, I've heard people talk about this like I've seen it, had the people calling him, like, how are you maestroing this?
I mean, the whole thing. And then when she, because it's when she does the voice, because remember when they went through the whole voice thing of like, how did you get this girl on you're a man at the time, how did you get this girl on the phone with Manti? And they're like, it's a 1 in bajillion chance that he's able to do the voice.
Amazing.
And then he goes in the other room and does the voice. And you're like, whoa. Like, it totally sounds like a woman's voice.
Right.
Like, it's just the wildest story. It's the wildest story.
Man.
There's a lot of good sports docs. I was watching have you guys seen the Malice in the Palace one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's a damn good doc.
That is a good one.
Hard Knocks right now is really good. We talked about it yesterday.
You know,
Hard Knocks is good.
If you like,
when does that air? Thursday?
No, it's like the episode's
almost
just
over.
out.
Oh, you just go through them.
I've only watched 2, but I think
it's
4 are out.
4 are done.
Yeah.
I think there's one to go.
I felt bad when I was watching. I was telling Larry this yesterday. I felt bad because, and sort of loosely, this ended up in a 49er realm. But I watched episode 2 the day after Cutdown Day. Episode 2 happens to be when they're profiling the Lions' backup quarterback, David Blau. And he's got this Olympic wife, and they do sports together, and they're an awesome couple and support one another and everything. And they sort of spotlight Blau, and they get to the first preseason game, and he gets his shot at the end of the game. It's the fourth quarter. It's a tight game. He's got they've got the lead in the ball.
Go get him!
And he gets out there for a shotgun snap, hike, and ball just drops the damn ball. Falcons recover, go win the game, and there's this whole thing where you're looking at him and you can tell he knows he's just like, that was not good for my job security. But I'm literally watching this knowing that 24 hours ago, you did get cut, and you got replaced by Nate Sudfeld, who they're going to acquire.
Man, that play had something to do with it.
It was weird to watch it, knowing the way it actually all played out. So anyway, this is very good.
Well, today, I was just thinking about this, about the whole week, because Monday's when the news came down. Monday, actually.
Oh, the Jimmy?
Yeah. And just the thing that I have a problem with, the only thing, is if you want to say this is a great move, say it's a great move. If you want to say this is risky, risky. You can say anything you want about it. Please don't try to maintain, it's no big deal. You guys are making a mountain out of a molehill. Like, this is just, what's the big deal? It's a big deal. It is a big deal that they have Jimmy Garoppolo back on the team as a backup to this particular guy at this particular time. It may make sense practically on some level. Please don't maintain, you guys are beating us into the ground. Well, that's because it's never happened before virtually.
I think where you're feeling that is that there's a lot of people that look at this. The Niner fans, I think so many of them are looking at this as, it's gravy, man. It's great.
That's fine.
So it comes across like anybody who speaks any negativity about it, it's like the lottery winner complaining about taxes. You know what I mean?
No, I do.
It's kind of like, well, dude, now you have two quarterbacks, and you got your $25 million quarterback to take a $17 million pay cut to be your backup quarterback, and now if your starter goes down, you got another guy sitting there. So there's a lot of like, what's the negative side? Well, where's the real negative? And we don't know that there is for sure a negative.
No, we don't.
But
in your gut,
we don't know there's a positive.
But it's also not the norm, so it is a big deal.
And it's not Trey's fault. And it's not his fault because Shanahan did what he did with the draft picks and showed the world what he thought of this kid, this protege. He was going to turn the NFL landscape upside down. So in that instance, I feel bad for Trey because that equates to pressure. But Larry, Willard, and Steiny, this is the Kardashians. This is the NFL version of backstabbing from the fans. If you think the fans don't count, that's fine. But what we do, we were sold this kid was going to be a messiah. And now all of a sudden, the rope has gotten shorter, and I don't know if the Niners are sending a message of tough love to Trey, if they seen something in practice. I'm giving the kid all the benefit of the doubt, but Larry, Helen Keller can see now because we haven't even got to week 1 a game. And if his performance is subpar and you got a dude that took you to the Super Bowl, this is Steve Young, Montana, light. This is Kaepernick, Alex Smith. This is all right before us, a buffet of it, and they haven't even said dinner's ready.
I love the way you said it, Steiny, because. So, and Goo, you're spot on, because whatever your opinion is, love it, hate it, scared of it, whatever. It's a big deal because this is a $5+ billion organization, and this is their most important employee. And they moved heaven and earth to hire him. And people are not understanding that they just brought in
a guy that was supposed to be gone.
Huge name, expensive second option. Think if this was any other company, you'd be like, what? And in fact, go through the history of the NFL and find me a comp. And you're going to have a very hard time.
Let me throw one out. Let me throw one out here.
So again, hold on real quick. Not negative. Yeah. But big deal.
Yeah.
Huge deal. Huge deal.
Do you guys think that James Wiseman's going to fulfill his potential?
Who knows?
I would answer, I don't know.
I don't know.
See, he's been hurt. That's a little different. But go ahead.
So it's like you still got Kevon Looney there.
Right.
So if James Wiseman's really this guy that you bypassed LaMelo to get, and LaMelo's pretty damn good.
James Wiseman was not hired to be the Warriors' most important
Yeah, right, because they
employee.
had Steph.
But I mean, isn't
Clay and
it's
Dre.
like
Not hired to be the,
my
not
point
hired
is
to
that
be the most important employee.
But my point is that I think James Wiseman's going to get there if he's healthy.
Yeah,
doesn't mean it's going to be this year. Doesn't mean
No,
I don't
you're
want.
right.
Doesn't mean I don't want
No, you're
Kevon Looney.
But the Warriors are blessed,
you
though,
gotta-
Larry,
but
because
you
they
gotta-
don't need them. It can
You
be
got to
2
contend
years.
for a title this year,
Right.
So,
Larry, you're not
this year
wrong.
I'd like to have Loon, but you know what? Long term, I still believe in Wiseman.
Right.
So I believe in Trey, but I don't know if I believe in Trey fully long term.
Okay,
but
right.
I really don't know if it's going to happen this year.
So you're not
well,
wrong.
you're saying it then.
And again, you can call this a positive, you can call it negative, you can call it whatever you want, but it's a big deal.
Yeah,
it is a big deal.
And nothing's wrong with that.
No.
What's the best case scenario? Trey Lance quarterback, 17
games.
They go 13-4 and roll in the play. Okay, great.
That's right.
But what if? And we've all been saying, well, what if they're 1-2? You know what? How about this? What if they're 7-1 and Trey Lance gets hurt, and here comes Jimmy Garoppolo, and 5 weeks later, or whatever it is, they're 13-1. You know what I mean? That's the definition of working. That's within the realm of possibility. That Trey Lance is good. Maybe gets nicked up a little, and now you got Jimmy Garoppolo here for 4 or 5 weeks, which is perfect because that's the backup quarterback who can get you over the hump till the starter comes back.
It's also wild how many people seem to, and maybe this is because we know him and we've been through the story, we understand the nuance, but it's wild to me how many people sort of diminish the size of Jimmy Garoppolo's presence in the room. Someone just texted in, because I just said, give me another example in history. Someone just texted in and said Carson Wentz and Nick Foles. Do you have any idea how different this is than that?
Totally.
Nick Foles is a what? Nick Foles was nothing in that locker room. This is Jimmy flippin' $100 million trip to the Super Bowl, leader of our team for 5 years, Garoppolo. This is a massive celebrity with a massive name, with a massive history in the room. And that's, again, Steiny, I like the way you said it. You cannot, whatever your take is, love, hate, don't dismiss.
That's all, man.
What just happened.
The other
you know
thing
why? Because great quarterbacks are saying, this is weird.
Warren Moon.
I mean, it's definitely not the norm. But I'll also say this: it's like Mark printed up a list the other day of like the quarterbacks taken in round one in the last decade.
Yeah.
I think we all need to take a look at that list, take a perusal of that list, and then understand that there is a percentage. I'm not saying it's high, but there is a percentage chance that Trey Lance is going to be a bust. A total bust. And beyond what I think he's going to get there. But there's a chance. Look at the names who have gone in the first round. There's way more
Larry,
busts
what would that mean
than there
for
are
Kyle,
success
though?
stories.
Then? What would that mean for Kyle?
I'll tell you what, if they win the Super Bowl this year, nothing.
And say, look at me, the quarterback guru.
Yeah.
I thought this kid had the goods.
I think Kyle knows there's a reality of every situation, and here's the reality of Kyle's situation. He needs one of two things to happen, and Matt just said it. He either needs Lance to be great,
or get hurt,
or he needs to win the Super Bowl. If he wins the Super Bowl, doesn't really matter if Lance is great. And if Lance is great, probably doesn't matter if he wins the Super Bowl this year. But he can't go 0 for 2. He can't not win the Super Bowl and have Lance be a bust and survive. I don't believe it.
Do you want me to read them?
Yeah, go ahead. It's a long list of failure.
This is 30 players, and this was written in 2019. So forget the top 10 quarterbacks of the last 2 to 3 years. But listen to these names: Paxton Lynch, Johnny Manziel, Josh Rosen, Mitch Trubisky. Stop me when I get to the good one. Jake Locker, Christian Ponder, RG3, Blake Bortles, EJ Manuel, Blaine Gabbert, Tim Tebow, Brandon Whedon, Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, Dwayne Haskins, Sam Bradford, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Teddy Bridgewater, Ryan Tannehill, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Andrew Luck, Cam Newton, Patrick Mahomes.
These are first-round quarterbacks.
From 2010 to 2020.
Why were all the good ones at the end?
Well, this was the ranking.
Okay.
This was a ranking,
Gotcha.
but you're talking about what? Maybe 6?
I counted
Maybe
like
7?
five really good ones and like 15 or more busts.
Easy.
True busts.
Right. Easy. And then a handful of like,
Yeah.
Like
Marcus
Ryan
Mariota,
Tannehill's still playing, but
we don't know.
You know, Jared Goff, he went to a Super Bowl, whatever, right? Even Kyler Murray, like, okay, been re-signed, but is that going to be great? I don't know. So that's the percentage. That's the batting average.
There's a bust factor that's real. And then if I said to you, okay, 5 quarterbacks went in the top of the draft last year, somebody in that group's the bust. Who is it?
Right. And
right now, if you ask that question nationally,
Zach Wilson.
People would say Trey Lance.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Well, he only played 2 games.
No, I know, but I mean, they're
He's the only one who didn't play.
Yeah, he didn't play, and then Mills played well, and Mac Jones went to the playoffs, and
so let me throw this at you.
I don't know if we can use that label for any of them yet. That's a little
I know, but I mean, I'm just saying.
But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Forget the 49ers signed Garoppolo. What if everything is the same, and on Monday they announce, you know what, we're signing Harry Smith. Now, Harry Smith is the best backup in the league, okay? Best backup in the league, and he has been a starter. But, boy, Harry Smith's coming on here, and he's pretty good. Even if the name weren't Jimmy Garoppolo, we'd be like,
that's an interesting
I wonder
move.
why they're bringing in a guy who's pretty good but not great.
To me, that's totally different than this. You know why? Because Jimmy has done it. Jimmy was going to play somewhere this year, and Jimmy has the secrets to several, both sides of both sides of the line of scrimmage, offense and defense. And it looked like he was headed maybe towards the Rams to back up Stafford or to Seattle in the division. So, having Jimmy, it's not just keeping Jimmy, it's keeping your secrets and Jimmy away from your opponent.
But what I'm saying is Harry Smith would have created a stir. That's why Jimmy Garoppolo is creating a firestorm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But he's doing that, Steiny. Harry Smith, I would be okay with, because from a team dynamic, guys, that's the best thing for our team. If something happens to Trey, we got Harry Smith. Harry Smith doesn't have skins on the wall like Jimmy Garoppolo already does. And just from Trey's upbringing and where he's come from, pretty much the unknown, you can't tell me he's better than Jimmy at quarterback in the Niners. And until I see that, I won't believe it. So the Smith works for me, Willard, but the Garoppolo is, I've kind of almost did a master class on winning, the team winning while I'm in there. So that would be more threatening than Harry Smith coming out of left field trying to learn the offense. The fact that it was bye-bye Jimmy, and it wasn't bye-bye, something's up. We'll find out. And I'm rooting for Trey. I'm rooting for the kid.
Yeah.
But come on, Larry, something's up.
I look at it the other way, because you're saying, like, if you went for a top backup, it would, to me, you're going to have to teach the whole new top backup.
No doubt.
The whole system. And then it's almost like, well, wait a second. Why are they taking the time to bring in some top backup when they just brought in Trey? This situation is Jimmy was going to play somewhere. Do you want him backing up do you want him as a backup for you, since the two guys get along and now you have insurance and an asset to trade? Or do you want him going to the Rams? Or do you want him going to the Seahawks? And now they have your intel.
I think is absolutely positively a factor, and it's right to be a factor. Not that you're scared of Jimmy Garoppolo going to Seattle, but he gives them a better chance to beat you once this year. Right. Not that you're scared of him as a backup in L.A., but guess what? If Stafford gets hurt, they still can win the Super Bowl.
I think it's important just to also bring this up, which is that, Larry, you're looking at this from a very, very football perspective.
Right.
And I that makes total sense. Historically, when other teams have been in this position, they have decided that it is important from an emotional level, from a teammate level, from a fan base level, from an investment level, to get the other guy out of the way. That is what teams have done through the years. So whether you love this, whether you think it's no big deal, whether you think it's a great football move, at minimum acknowledge that when faced with this through the years, just about every team has decided, we better get the other guy out of the way.
You're right. It's an It's a borderline unprecedented deal, but I would push back with Trey Lance is a borderline unprecedented prospect, because he is that raw And they went. Anybody who saw the draft pick knew they're taking the big swing on them. They're taking the macro view, the big swing, and it's like on the guy with tons of talent but super raw.
At what expense?
And to me, it's like you could still love the super raw quarterback and think he's going to get there, but also pretty convinced it's not going to be this year, and thus you want to take on Garoppolo. So to me, I could see them. That could be their thinking.
Larry, great stuff this week. Great Labor Day weekend. Steiny and Goo coming up next. College Football Board has just expanded the playoff to 12 teams. That's kind of fun.
Wow.
It'll start no later than 2026. But anyway, great. Back to Jimmy. All right, here we go.